Now we have DSA questions, and we got a few questions from the students who have appeared just in GATE Data Science exam. And the first question is, here you can see that match the column. That requires the match the column, and match the column has column 1, that is having the values FIFO, LIFO and lookup. All right, and the column 2 indicates stack, queue and the hash. So first column basically representing the way, the mechanism through which we can actually access or insert a particular element. Okay, and second column is basically representing the data structures. So we have to match the correct mechanism with the correct data structure. Okay, so if you look at the working style of the stack, that it says that we can insert a particular element, and whatever is the first element will be picked last, or whatever element is inserted last will be picked first. Okay, so in that particular case, this last in first out is going to be collected with the uh, stack. Okay, let me have the slide so here. All right, so if you look at the features, last in first out is supposed to be inserted with the stack. So here we have the property that A inserted first, B inserted next and C inserted. So this is working like this one. So C will be picked first. So this is push and pop operation, so it is last in first out. And if you look at the second option, that we have a queue. So in queue we know that whatever element is inserted first will be removed first. Okay, so that works on front and rear concept. So let's say A inserted first, then B inserted, then C inserted. So C will be the last element, which is indicated by rear. So it is nothing but first in first out. So FIFO is going to be connected with the queue. Okay, and lookup is based on hash. So whatever value is going to be inserted into the hash table, that must be represented by a unique index that is represented by the lookup, and that is computed by a simple hash mechanism. So mod of table size or mod of any prime number can be calculated to get the lookup value. Okay, so in that particular case, your lookup is going to be connected with the hash. So what you have to do, you have to simply check the corresponding options. All four options must represent, any one of them must represent this particular feature. Okay, so if you have any doubt, any question related to this, please ask. So this is the simple most question, I can say that this is the simplest question of the data structure that have been asked so far. Okay, now we have another question, and that says, which algorithm will sort the array in exactly using 2 swap? All right, and this is the given sequence 4 3 2 1 5. Assuming that we need to have the sorting in ascending order. Okay, in that particular case, we have given 3 algorithms that can be applied for the sorting: selection sort, insertion sort and bubble sort. And if we look at the property that swapping, whether swapping is permitted in this particular algorithm or not, so insertion sort does not allow the swapping. Okay, by that way insertion sort is out of this particular fight. So we cannot give the solution with insertion sort. All right, then there is 2 possibility that we can start with the bubble sort and selection sort. So I'll check with the bubble sort. Let's say this is the particular sequence 4 3 2 1 and 5. So bubble sort works on comparison of the pair elements. So 4 is going to be compared with the 3. Since 3 is smaller than 4, it will get swapped. Okay, then the next pair, that is 4 and 2, is going to be compared. All right, in that particular case 2 will be swapped and 4 will take this particular position, and then 5, and then in next iteration 4 is going to be compared with 1. So here you can see that number of comparison is higher than the required one. So the required is exactly 2 comparison, and still 1 is not at its corresponding position that we have taken third comparison, and still 1 is not at the first place. Okay, that means the bubble sort cannot be the corresponding solution. So bubble sort is also out of this particular race. Now we have the selection sort, and selection sort says first we have to look at the mechanism. Selection sort says that first we have to pick the smallest element from the entire sequence and we have to place it at the first position. All right. So first minimum element is placed at the first position, then we have to find the second minimum, place it with the second position. So we'll swap accordingly. The positional swap will be there accordingly. Okay. So what we have to do, we have to find the minimum, and from this particular sequence 4, 3, 2, 1 and 5, 1 is supposed to be the minimum and that is supposed to be swapped with the 4 because that is the first position. So 1 will acquire the position at this place, 3, 2 and 4. After this swap, this will be the sequence, and then we have to find the second minimum. So second minimum is the value 2 and that is supposed to be swapped with the second position element. So this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and this is the sorted sequence, and therefore there is exactly 2 swap required to sort this particular sequence, and selection sort is definitely the winner for this particular question. So your option must be selection sort for this particular question. All right. Now we have the third question, and the third question is from the quick sort. It is saying that minimum number of comparison in place quick sort mechanism. Okay, so this is in place quick sort. In place quick sort, that means we need not to have extra memory to sort this particular sequence. All right. So sorting is supposed to be done in the same array, same sequence. All right, we need not to acquire the additional parallel memory. So what we have the sequence 60, 70, 80, 90 and 100. All right, and out of this 100 is the pivot element, so we have selected 100 as the pivot element, and then as per the mechanism that we can start comparing this entire sequence from the left and right along with the pivot element, and accordingly we'll swap or we partition, because this particular algorithm is based on divide, conquer and combine. So we have to partition this entire sequence so that the left half is smaller elements and the right half is going to be the greater than or equal elements. Okay, so in this particular case, if we compare each and every element with the pivot element starting from the left one, because there is no right element after this, so we'll start comparing this. So 60 is compared with 100, then 70 is compared with 100, 80 is definitely compared with 100, 90 is compared with 100. So in this particular case, minimum 4 comparisons are required to find whether that is in place sorted or not. Okay, since the entire sequence is already, so this is the best case scenario, this is already sorted scenario, so at least 4 comparisons are going to be there so that we can decide whether this in place quick sort algorithm is working for the sorted sequence. All right, so 4 comparisons are there. So solution for this particular question is going to be 4 comparisons. Okay, so this is the minimum comparisons that requires to identify whether the sequence are sorted or not. All right, so far we have this much question. Now
Krishna will come.
Krishna was our student who is aspirant of this GATE Data Analytics 2024. So he will join and share his experience about this particular paper.
When facing an exam like GATE, the stakes are
Okay, students, so we have our aspirant student who was currently applying for this GATE examination, and we'll get the experience from him. How was his experience? And he's soon joining the session. So just give us few minutes, till then he's ready. Okay, and we have got lots and lots of questions on mathematics, and so soon after getting the experience about the session, we'll be asking sir and ma'am to solve the questions on mathematics. So according to the analysis, we saw that around 14 marks of questions were asked on probability and statistics, right? So it has got quite a weightage. So as soon as Krishna is ready, we can bring Krishna live and have a discussion about the current situation, like how was the paper and what was the difficult level of the questions asked in the examinations, right? So based on the questions which we saw right now, the questions of data structures and algorithms were quite moderate level, and it was not that much difficult. Like basically, if you know basic algorithms and standard algorithms, it is quite easy for you guys to solve it. Okay, so till then, till Krishna is coming back, so okay. So we'll be waiting for a few more minutes, and we have the team in the back end who is currently engaged in solving the questions of mathematics, and all the questions at one go will be bringing on the session and we'll be discussing it. So stay tuned. And we have also mentioned in the footer of the video, you can observe what is the weightage of every subject has also been mentioned. So just if you want to get an idea, so we have all the details in the header and footer, basically the footer of this video. So the weightage of every subject has been mentioned. And let me just get an idea when will Krishna join the session. Okay, so we have Krishna, and Krishna will be joining. So Krishna, am I audible? Like, okay, so there might be some technical issue from the other end. So we'll wait for few more minutes. We'll be getting the insights of what actually was going on the GATE examination, because this is the first time GATE has organized this examination for data analysis, right? So we need to know that what was the scenario over there, how many students, what was the rush in the examination hall, and what was the pressure over there, how was the how were the students over there, right? Okay, so back then I was discussing about the course that GeeksforGeeks has organized. Basically, GeeksforGeeks is has launched a new course that is based on GATE, basically our data science and AI for upcoming batches. So the registrations have quickly started, so you can get an idea. Just visit the courses page over there. So we have a message. Okay, so Krishna is joining, and let's see. So regarding the course, the registration has started. So do visit the Geeks for Geeks courses page over there. You will be able to observe all the courses available, and you can get an idea over there. So, okay. So just let me give you an idea about the course page. Okay, so I'm asking Krishna to join the session, and he might be facing some technical issues from his end. So yeah. Okay. So let me till then give you an idea about the current courses that Geeks4Geeks is providing on GATE. So basically, we have computer science. For computer science GATE CSIT, we have a course that is currently going on. Okay. So we have a news that due to some issues, Krishna is not able to join, and we have Akash joining the session. Akash will be giving you the idea about the questions, and he'll be solving the questions. So welcome, Akash sir, over here, and you can take over the session.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Okay, let me just share my screen. So I have this probability questions. It is saying if probability of having boy or girl is 0.3, it should be having girl. So you can use either of them. So let's just use having girl probability is 0.3. Then what is the probability of getting 2 girls and 1 boy? So this is a basic question of binomial distribution. Where you can assume p equals to 0.3, which is the probability of success or having a girl, and n equals to 3. Okay, so the formula you know, n choose x, p to the power x, 1 minus p whole to the power n minus x. So if you plug in the values, you will get 3 choose x, 0.3 whole to the power x, and 0.7 whole to the power 3 minus x. Now they are asking what is the probability of getting 2 girls and 1 boy. So here x equals to 2, right? Number of girls here x equals to 2, so you just need to plug in the value x equals to 2 here. So you will get 3 choose 2, 0.3 whole square and 0.7, right? So 3 choose 2 is 3 times 0.3 times 0.3 times 0.7 is the answer to this question. So let me just calculate this. So 0.189 is the answer to this question. So this is a basic question, one can easily solve it. And if he or she knows about binomial distribution, it's a pretty straightforward question. Okay. Now we'll move on to the next question. Okay, this is also again a question of probability theory. So it's a conditional probability question. So to solve this, you just need to know this formula. What is P? Probability of A given B, which is probability of A intersection B by probability of B, when P probability of B is non-zero. Okay. Now let's calculate the value. They are asking to compute T given S, right? Now all this data is given. How do you compute it? Okay, see. So you need to compute Pt given S, which is probability of P intersection S by probability of S. Now again, it is given that probability of S given T is 0.3 and probability of S given T complement is 0.3 again. So from here you can compute probability of S given T equals to probability of St by probability of T, and probability of S given T prime equals to probability of St prime by probability of T prime. So this is what you can compute, and so this data is given to you. Now what is probability of St prime, right? So this also you can solve by Venn diagram. Let's just say this is S, this is T, right? Now S intersection T prime, which is this region, right? S intersection T prime. So you can write probability of S intersection T prime equals to probability of S minus probability of S intersection T, right? So from this you can write, which is probability of S minus probability of S intersection T equals to, so this value is given to you, probability of T prime is 0.6, so that is 0.6 times 0.3, and if you use this equation, so you will get probability of S intersection T equals to 0.4 times 0.3. Okay, 0.4 is the probability of T, because you know probability of T plus probability of T complement is nothing but 1. So from this you can compute PS. Okay, so you can compute P of S. which is going to be 0.4. If you compute it, 0.4 times 0.3 plus 0.6 times 0.3, which is 0.3, right? Now you see, okay, now we have got probability of S equals to 0.3. Also, we know probability of S intersection T is nothing but 0.4 times 0.3. Now you just need to use this formula to solve this problem. So probability of TS and probability of S, which is 0.4 times 0.3 by 0.3. So 0.4 is the answer to this question. So again, this is a basic question. So if you know about conditional probability, just the definition, then you can easily solve it, just a basic algebra. Again, this question says, when 3 coins are tossed, what is the probability of getting 2 heads, 1 tail, intersection, 2 tails, 1 head? I think this should be odd. This cannot be intersection, because then the probability would be 0. So it has to be odd. It cannot be intersection. So, okay, let's see. Now again, 3 coins are tossed, so you just need to assume the tosses are independent and nothing is given. So it's a unbiased coil. So the probability of head is half and probability of tail is half. Again, you are tossing the coin 3 times, so n equals to 3. So this question again is from binomial distribution. Okay, if you know the formula, you just need to plug in some value and you will get the answer. So simple question. I just wrote the formula for binomial distribution, which is n choose x, p to the power x, 1 minus p to the power n minus x, where x can vary from 0, 1 to take this value, n plus 1 possible values. Okay. Now they are asking probability of getting 2 heads. So first you need to substitute x equals to 2, and then 2 tails, 1 head, that means x equals to 1, right? 1 head means x equals to 1, and 2 head and 2 heads means x equals to 2. You just need to substitute the values and you can easily solve it. So the answer to this question is 3 choose 2 p square 1 minus p plus 3 choose 1 p into 1 minus p whole square. Now 3 choose 2 is 3 and p is again here, p is nothing but half. So if you substitute, you will get 3 plus 3 by 2 cube, right? Now this is 6 upon 8, which is nothing but 3 by 4, right? This is the answer to this question. So see, to solve this question also you can use some naive approach, like you don't have to know this binomial distribution, you can just enumerate and you can solve it, right? For example, if you toss 3 coins, like, so the sample space would be head, 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 right? Head, tail, head, 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 tail, head, tail, tail, right? And you just take complement of it, so you'll get tail, tail, tail. I mean, you replace h by t, t by h, so you'll get t, h, t, you'll get t, t, h, and you'll get t, h, h, right? So there are 8 possible choices, out of which we are asking for 2 heads, 1 tail. 2 heads, 1 tail simply means this case, and this case. 2 heads and 1 tail, yeah. And 2 heads, 2 tails, and 1 head. So this one, and this one, and this one. So yeah, total favorable cases are 8, and the total possible choices are the total favorable cases, number of favorable cases is 6, and the total number of choices is 8. So 6 by 8, nothing but 3 by 4. So you can use either of the approaches. I mean, this one is you can use it, or maybe you can also use this one. So direct binomial distribution formula you can use to get the solution, answer to this question. So again, this is a simple question. So let's solve this problem. So this is saying you have to compute the sum of 2 plus half plus 1/3 plus 1/4 plus 1/8. So I think it's an infinite series. So how do you do it? So 2 plus, you just need to group terms, like, so half plus 1 upon 1/4 plus 1/8 and dot up to infinity, plus again you group these terms, right, to form a GP series. 1/3 plus 1 upon 9 plus 1 upon 27 and so on and so forth. So this is a GP series with common ratio. You can see it's half, and this is also a GP series with common ratio 1/3. So you just need to sum it up. So it's 2 plus, the formula for GP series is A plus AR plus AR square plus dot. Okay, so this is going to be A by 1 minus R, where absolute value of R has to be less than 1. Right? Here, obviously, half is less than 1 and 1/3 is also less than 1. So you can use this formula to solve this problem. Now let's plug in this value. So it's going to be half, right, by 1 minus half plus 1/3 by 1 minus 1/3. So it is going to be 2 plus 1 plus 1/3. It's going to be half, right? So it's going to be 3 plus 1/2. That is 3.5 is the answer to this question. So again, this is a simple question. One can easily solve this problem if he or she knows about this formula, GP formula. It is pretty standard formula, right? So this one is also an easy question. Let's take the next question, which is about a matrix. So here they are asking you to compute the determinant of m square plus 12. All right, find the determinant of m square plus 12. I think this question has a problem. It should be 12i or something. So I will check and will solve. So let me just take that. Okay. Now next, Parth will solve the remaining problems. Over to you, Parth.
When When facing an exam like GATE, the stakes are really high. Tough competition, limited opportunities, and lots of hope riding on your shoulders. GeeksforGeeks understands the pressure. And to ensure that you have the best support system to crack GATE CSE 2025, we have launched our latest batch taught by our GATE mentors with more than a decade of teaching experience and multiple GATE top rankers as their students. We know that you got it in you to crack GATE exam. Now all you got to do is commit to learning, commit with GeeksforGeeks. When facing an exam like GATE, the stakes are really high. Tough competition, limited opportunities, and lots of hope riding on your shoulders. GeeksforGeeks understands the pressure. And to ensure that you have the best support system to crack GATE CSE 2025, we have launched our latest batch taught by our GATE mentors with more than a decade of teaching experience and multiple GATE top rankers as their students. We know that you got it in you to crack GATE exam. Now all you got to do is commit to learning, commit with GeeksforGeeks. When facing an exam like GATE, the stakes are really high. Tough competition, limited opportunities, and lots of hope riding on your shoulders. GeeksforGeeks understands the pressure. And to ensure that you have the best support system to crack GATE CSE 2025, we have launched our latest batch taught by our GATE mentors with more than a decade of teaching experience and multiple GATE top rankers as their students. We know that you got it in you to crack GATE exam. Now all you got to do is commit to learning, commit with Geeks for Geeks. When facing an exam like GATE, the stakes are really high. Tough competition, limited opportunities, and lots of hope riding on your shoulders. Geeks for Geeks understands the pressure. And to ensure that you have the best support system to crack GATE CSE 2025, we have launched our latest batch taught by our GATE mentors with more than a decade of teaching experience and multiple GATE top rankers as their students. We know that you got it in you to crack GATE exam. Now all you got to do is commit to learning, commit with Geeks for Geeks. When facing an exam like GATE, the stakes are really high. Tough competition, limited opportunities, and lots of hope riding on your shoulders. Geeks for Geeks understands the pressure. And to ensure that you have the best support system to crack GATE CSE 2025, we have launched our latest batch taught by our GATE mentors with more than a decade of teaching experience and multiple GATE top rankers as their students. We know that you got it in you to crack GATE exam. Now all you got to do is commit to learning, commit with Geeks for Geeks. When facing an exam like GATE, the stakes are really high. Tough competition, limited opportunities, and lots of hope riding on your shoulders. Geeks for Geeks understands the pressure. And to ensure that you have the best support system to crack GATE CSE 2025, we have launched our latest batch taught by our GATE mentors with more than a decade of teaching experience and multiple GATE top rankers as their students. We know that you got it in you to crack GATE exam. Now all you got to do is commit to learning, commit with Geeks for Geeks. When facing an exam like GATE, the stakes are really high. Tough competition, limited opportunities, and lots of hope riding on your shoulders. Geeks for Geeks understands the pressure. And to ensure that you have the best support system to crack GATE CSE 2025, we have launched our latest batch taught by our GATE mentors with more than a decade of teaching experience and multiple GATE top rankers as their students. We know that you got it in you to crack GATE exam. Now all you got to do is commit to learning, commit with Geeks for Geeks. When facing an exam like GATE, the stakes are really high. Tough competition, limited opportunities, and lots of hope riding on your shoulders. Geeks for Geeks understands the pressure. And to ensure that you have the best support system to crack GATE CSE 2025, we have launched our latest batch taught by our GATE mentors with more than a decade of teaching experience and multiple GATE top rankers as their students. We know that you got it in you to crack GATE exam. Now all you got to do is commit to learning, commit with Geeks for Geeks. When facing an exam like GATE, the stakes are really high. Tough competition, limited opportunities, and lots of hope riding on your shoulders. Geeks for Geeks understands the pressure. And to ensure that you have the best support system to crack GATE CSE 2025, we have launched our latest batch taught by our GATE mentors with more than a decade of teaching experience and multiple GATE top rankers as their students. We know that you got it in you to crack GATE exam. Now all you got to do is commit to learning, commit with Geeks for Geeks. When facing an exam like GATE, the stakes are really high. Tough competition, limited opportunities, and lots of hope riding on your shoulders. Geeks for Geeks understands the pressure. And to ensure that you have the best support system to crack GATE CSE 2025, we have launched our latest batch taught by our GATE mentors with more than a decade of teaching experience and multiple GATE top rankers as their students. We know that you got it in you to crack GATE exam. Now all you got to do is commit to learning, commit with Geeks for Geeks. When facing an exam like GATE, the stakes are really high. Tough competition, limited opportunities, and lots of hope riding on your shoulders. Geeks for Geeks understands the pressure. And to ensure that you have the best support system to crack GATE CSE 2025, we have launched our latest batch taught by our GATE mentors with more than a decade of
Also, you are All right.
What is microphone? Hello, people. So Santosh sir is here with more questions. So over to you.
All right, thank you. So this we have already seen. This question we have already seen. We have further few questions. All right. So this is one similar kind of question. The exact question we do not have. We have only the question that there is a multiple choice question which is asking about the unit tree. There are some pre-order, in order, or post-order sequences given. So here we have prepared a similar question for you that say we have in order, pre-order, or post-order traversal. In that particular case, we must have two combinations so that we can reconstruct the tree. All right. So for reconstruction, at least one pair is required, and that particular pair must include in order as a part of this. Okay. So let me pick the pen first. So in this particular case, at least one combination should be there, whether it is in order, pre-order, or it is in order with the post order. All right. So this is the particular question that we have either in order, pre-order combination or in order, post order combination, and then we have to reconstruct the particular tree. All right. So I'm just going to have a scenario that we have in order and pre-order. All right. So that is your choice, or in the question that has been given. So I am just considering that in order is 4, 2, 5, 1, 6, 3, 7, and the pre-order is given as 1, 2, 4, 5, 3, 6, and 7. All right. So in this particular case, first we have to determine the root. All right. So before recognizing the entire tree, first we have to determine the root in every particular case. And we know in pre-order and post-order, the first element in the pre-order and the last element in the post-order is going to be the root. All right. So the pre-order and post-order will help us to recognize the particular root. All right. So in this particular case, 1 is going to be the root, and since 1 is determined over here in order, then everything which is left of this is going to be the left subtree. All right. And whatever is there in the right hand side of this is going to be the right subtree of the entire tree. So I'm just partitioning this. 1 is going to be the root, and this is the in order sequence that 4, 2, and 5 is going to be the left subtree of this, and pre-order corresponding is going to be the first three element of the pre-order. So 2, 4, 5 is the first three element of the pre-order. All right. Then we'll go for the next sequence, the right subtree, that is 6, 3, 7 in the in order sequence, and the pre-order sequence is 3, 6, 7. We have to repeat the same process. We first need to recognize the root of this particular left subtree and right subtree, and from the pre-order we know that the first element is going to be the root. So 2 is the root over here, 4 is definitely the left part of this, and 5 is definitely the right part of this. All right. Similarly, for the right subtree, 3 is going to be the root, and since 3 is the root, 6 is going to be the left subtree, and 7 is going to be the right subtree. So my exact tree must be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. This should be the right sequence, and by this particular process you can easily determine what is the reconstruct of the particular tree if the sequence is given to you. All right. So exactly the exact question was not with us, so we have prepared a particular question that it should be like this, that we have some pair of particular order, and then we have reconstructed the particular tree. So this should be the sequence, this should be the option out of the given question. All right. So we have the next question. Meanwhile, if you have any doubt, you may write into the chat box. Okay. If you have any particular doubt, you can just write into the chat box. All right. So we have another question that exactly similar to that previous question. The tree can be reconstructed by using which of the following options, and it is multiple correct option. So in that particular case, if you miss any particular choice, okay, so you are not going to get the answer, you are not going to get the marks, okay. So in that particular case, if it is multiple choice option, if it is multiple correct option, in that particular case you have to pick all the correct options. All right, it is not like partial is selected and that partial marking will be done. So the complete mark will be given only when you have selected the complete answer. All right, so we have the option here that in order, post order, in order, pre-order, pre-order and post order, and the in order. Now let me go back to the previous question and see, if we have only in order, if we have only in order sequence, we cannot trace the entire tree. All right, so at least in that particular case, we are not able to recognize whether which one is going to be the root, whether we can start with the 4 as a root, we can start with the 2 as a root, or 5 is going to be the root. We cannot be determined in that particular case which is going to be the root. All right, so only in order is not the sufficient part that will construct. Now come to the another option that we have up here, that is pre-order and post-order. Now in this particular case, either the first element or the last element is able to recognize the root, okay. Now after that, we are not going to partition the entire sequence in the left subtree or right subtree, so that combination is also not useful for us, okay. So if we look back to the question, option D and C is not the correct one, okay. So in order is insufficient, pre-order and post-order combination is also inefficient to solve that particular question. So at least in order with post-order, in order with pre-order. So in order is the mandatory part along with the pre-order or post-order to be known to us. So in this particular case, option A and B both are correct, okay. So there are two correct options for this particular question. All right, now come to the next question, that is the question related to the graph. All right, so here you can see that this is the question related to graph, and it is worked on depth first search. So traversal of the graph in depth first search order. So we have to visit each and every node in a particular deep of the graph, and then we have to look at the backtrack scenario. So if you look at the definition, classification of the edges, there are given as the tree edges, back edges, gray edges, or the cross edges, okay, forward edges as well. So there are 5 classification of the edges. And if you look at the definition of the edges, like if you simply look at the processing of the graph, in that particular case, like the depth first search required to be solved by the stack data structure. So if we maintain a stack data structure, what we do, we insert the first element as the visited node, and we associate a timestamp along with this particular node, okay. So this is called as the timestamp of the first visit, okay. And whenever there is a dead end in that particular graph, in any particular node, if we start visiting a particular graph, let's say this is the particular graph, and I have followed this particular node, come to there and this particular node, now there is no further visit. So what we have to do, we have to backtrack, and during the backtrack I'll assign a new particular time. So this is the forward timestamp and this is the backward timestamp, okay. So what we have to see that during every edge visit, we have edge represented as u and v. In that particular case, we can say the time, or you can say the discovery time of a particular node. So discovery time of u and discovery time of v is classified, okay. And if we compare this particular values, these timestamps are compared, in that particular case we can see that whenever we backtrack, then only v will appear, okay, that v will appear in the backtrack scenario. So if we start with the visiting, so the first node, whenever we search, that particular timestamp is definitely going to be lesser than the backtrack timestamp. In that particular case, duv is going to be lesser than this particular next node of the particular edge. In that particular case, we can say simply this edge is safe, or there is another particular possibility that we can visit the new node. In that particular case, if this particular criteria is fulfilled, then it is known as the tree edge. All right, so this is the first option for the given question. This is the first option, that it is going to be the tree edge. For the back edge, because that requires to be backtracked, so in back edge criteria, this definition is going to be just reverse of this. So du should be greater than dv. Okay, so this is not the option given. The given criteria is if du is lesser than the dv, so definitely this is going to be the tree edge. So back edge is not the option, and otherwise the gray edge, or sometimes it is called as the different definitions are there. So exact answer for this particular question is going to be the tree edge. All right. Now come to the next question. We have doubly linked list. All right. So this is doubly linked list question, and in doubly linked list we know that we start with the head, which is pointing to a particular node which is containing a data part, and the pointer to the left and pointer to the right. So here we have the question that insert first 10. So first we have to insert 10 into that. So I'm just going to have a new node. So 10 is inserted over here in this doubly linked list, and then insert 32 in the last. So since 10 is the only node at this particular time, so 32 is inserted in the last, and this is pointing back to the 10. All right. So A is assigned as remove AND. So whenever we remove AND, this particular node is going to be removed, and this is assigned to A. So A is somewhere in the memory, and the value 32 is assigned to this particular variable after removing 32. That is the end of this particular doubly linked list. Then what we are doing, we are insert AND 28. And when we insert AND 28, now since after this particular removal, there is only one node in this particular linked list, that is 10. So we'll insert 28 after this. So this is going to be the new structure. And then we insert 17 at the end. Now, since there is a new possibility that we can insert 17 after 28. So this is the all right. So this is the proper structure, that once we insert 10, then 28, then 17 after the removal of the last element. Okay. And now we have A remove the end. Sorry, A remove first. Okay. So if I remove first element, that is the first element is 10. If I remove the first element, and that is going to be assigned in A. So A is further updated with the new value, that is 10. Okay. And then we have another statement, A remove AND, and we remove AND element. So AND element is nothing but 17 here. So A is going to be finally updated with 17. So option corresponding to this, that the value, the question is what is the value of A? So the value of A after all this operation in doubly linked list is going to be 17. So 17 is the final answer corresponding to A. All right. Now Parth will continue this session for. All right. So there are some more questions related to data science, and Parth is going to take over this particular session. Yeah. All right. So please hold.
Okay, so we'll be solving this question where it is written sum of 1 by 2 minus 1 by 3 plus 1 by 4 minus 1 by 9. So what we'll do is we can club all the positive ones, and we can club all the negative ones. As you can see in the snapshot where I have clubbed all the positive ones, the series becomes 1 by 2 plus 1 by 4 plus 1 by 8 and minus, and if I'm clubbing all the negative ones, then series become 1 by 3, 1 by 9, 1 by 27. So if we see them carefully, that the first series, that is the sum of infinite, it is the infinite series where the first term is 1 by 2, common ratio is 1 by 2, and we know the formula A upon 1 minus R. So by applying this formula, we can get the sum of the first bracket, then minus. In the next series, the first term is 1 by 3 and the common ratio is 1 by R, right? So sum of the infinite series, that is a geometric progression, and the sum of that can also be calculated by using the formula A upon 1 minus R, where R is the common ratio and A is the first term. So when we'll combine both of them, and when we'll subtract the first with the second, then the answer would be 1 by 2. So the answer of this question we can obtain as 1 by 2. Now coming to the next question, where this is written, the differentiation. I mean, the question is of differentiation where where the function is given, where the function is given as 1 upon 1 minus x square, right? And we have to calculate the value at x equals to zero point 0.4. So 1 upon 1 is 1 minus x square, that could be differentiated as 1 upon 1 minus x square minus 1, then into in bracket minus 2, right? So this would be the differentiation, and after differentiating the x square terms, that would come as in bracket minus 2x. Okay, so this would be the differentiation of this term. Now if I put the value of x equals to 0.4, so I'll be able to get the answer around 0.95. So this was just a question where we have to differentiate the function, and we have to put the value uh, of x that is equals to 0.4.
Hi, this new year we got a very special message for us. The message says, thanks Geeks4Geeks team for this amazing course. Just cracked government exam with AIR2 and got call for document verification. Excited for GATE 2024. This 2024 year has started well for me. These are the words of one of our students enrolled in GATE Computer Science course, and trust me, this not only motivate other students but us teachers as well to put in that extra effort. First of all, many congratulations Ishan. If you too are a GATE Computer Science 2025 aspirant, I invite you to check out our GATE CS course. Till then, keep learning. Hi, this new year we got a very special message for us. The message says, thanks Geeks4Geeks team for this amazing course. Just cracked government exam with AIR2 and got call for document verification. Excited for GATE 2024. This 2024 year has started well for me. These are the words of one of our students enrolled in GATE Computer Science course, and trust me, this not only motivate other students but us teachers as well to put in that extra effort. First of all, many congratulations Ishan. If you too are a GATE Computer Science 2025 aspirant, I invite you to check out our GATE CS course. Till then, keep learning. Hi, this new year we got a very special message for us. The message says, thanks Geeks4Geeks team for this amazing course. Just cracked government exam with AIR2 and got call for document verification. Excited for GATE 2024. This 2024 year has started well for me. These are the words of one of our students enrolled in GATE Computer Science course, and trust me, this not only motivate other students but us teachers as well to put in that extra effort. First of all, many congratulations Ishan. If you too are a GATE Computer Science 2025 aspirant, I invite you to check out our GATE CS course. Till then, keep learning. Hi, this new year we got a very special message for us. The message says, thanks Geeks4Geeks team for this amazing course. Just cracked government exam with AIR2 and got call for document verification. Excited for GATE 2024. This 2024 year has started well for me. These are the words of one of our students enrolled in GATE Computer Science course, and trust me, this not only motivate other students but us teachers as well to put in that extra effort. First of all, many congratulations.
Hi guys, I'm live. Just let me know if I'm audible. I'm coming up with lots of question of mathematics and aptitude. Just let me know. Uh, and I'll share my screen and till then students while I was solving the question you can let me know what is the difficulty level of the paper. We just want to know from the students point of view. At the end I'm going to tell you that what is the difficulty level of the exam, what type of questions are there, but you have to tell us first that how you are facing the exam, how much you have faced the difficulty. Is it the questions are easy to solve or not? Just let me know, guys, in the chat section so that we can give maximum output from our side. Okay. So guys, I'm just waiting for your comments so that we can give more clear perspective to you for the exam. And for that, I'll share my screen to solve some questions. Okay, you can tell me if there is any changes in the question or anything like that. Just let me know in the chat section if the question is not up to the point. Let me share my screen, guys. Share screen. Okay, so just let me know, guys, if my screen is visible to everybody. Okay, so this was one of the aptitude question in the exam, and just let me know what would be the answer for this question for every student. Yeah. So I hope this question is visible. Okay, just a minute. It was something like infinite series, right? This question was there. Tell me, guys, is there any another changes in this question or exactly this question was there? This question is of aptitude. Just let me know. I hope this question was there. So, guys, the question here says that 2 plus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 3 plus 1 by 4, 1 by 8, 1 by 9. So, you can see that none of the series right now it is forming. So, what would you guys have done? If I'll write down 1 plus 1, 1 by 2 plus 1 by 3, like that. So, you can see that I can write down this as 1 plus 1 by 2 and then I can take here 1 by 4, 1 by 8. I'm just telling you the complete solution for this question as well, right? How would you solve it? Instead of giving the answer 1 plus 1 by 3 plus 1 by 9. So now you can see that this is geometric series, infinite geometric series. So we know that what is the sum? 1 upon 1 minus r. Sum of infinite series, 1 by 2. Here r is 1 by 2. And here also 1 upon 1 minus 1 by 2, right? So what would this would be? This would become 1 by 2. That would become 2. And this would become 2 by 3. That would become 3 by 2. So if you will solve it, so it would become 4 and it would give you answer 7 by 2. Right, this is the answer. Just let me know, guys, how many of you have done this question correct. Just let me, guys. And guys, till now, our team is coming up with more solutions. You can just let us know the questions in the chat section so that we can provide you the solutions for more and more questions. Right? Let's move to the next question. Just a minute. Let me erase this completely. Yeah, this was another question. Guys, this type of question we already have solved in mock exam as well. Right? What this question says? The question here says that if mean of 50 data point is 40, then the new mean. We have to tell the updated mean if we'll add 1 point, one data point, that is 142. Guys, the question is something like that. So what does it mean? That if I'll add 50, if I'll take an average of 50 terms, x1 plus x2 plus x50 divided by 50, it would give me 40, right? That means average value I am getting here is 50. So I can find out sum of 50 values here, x1 plus x2 plus x50. That means sum of all those 50 values is 200, right? Now they asked me to add one more point, that is 142. So that means I'll add, let's consider this point as x51. That means now I want to take sum of 51 numbers. So x1 plus x2 plus x51. And guys, this question was NAT time, right? If the options are not given to you, sometimes to what I know that most of the students have done, they have write down 342. No, but they asked me that what would be the new mean. Oh, sorry, that is 2000. Sorry, guys, that is 2000. So now it would become 2142. And now if I want to find out the average, what would I do? I'll divide it by 51, right? So let's divide it by 51. So let me know, guys, what would you get? Let me see. 2 5s are 10. Okay, so it would give me 42. Right, so new average mean, new mean, that means new mean would be 42. So guys, just let me know in the chat section how many have done this answer correct. Just tell me, guys, that new mean, how many of you get the new mean 42? Okay, so let's move to the next question. Guys, this is one of the question. I know that the questions here says that, let me make it correct because I got so many inputs from the student. It says that for Poisson distribution, mean and variance are equal. Right? This type of a question are there. Mean and variance are equal. So you can see that this is basically statement based question. And when I was teaching you, I told you to remember all these things, that for all the distribution you have to remember mean and variance, and for all the continuous and discrete, just remember their mean and variance. I told you. And the question was there that which of the following is true, and what are the options here? That S1 and S2 both are true, S1 is true or S2 is false, S2 is true or S1 is false, or both S1 and S2 are false, right? We have to tell them like this. So can anybody tell me, guys, what would be the correct answer here? Just tell me, guys. Try to solve it. So guys, when I told you to remember about Poisson distribution, so we know that mean and variance both are lambda for Poisson distribution, right? So that means this statement is true. And this is a direct question. For standard normal distribution, the mean is 0 and variance is 1. So that means in this question, we have both S1 and S2 are correct. So guys, if you have remembered, and this is a 2-mark question, S2 are true, right? So guys, if you just remember this, if you have remember all the mean and variance for all the distribution, then this question is easily solvable to you. And I'll tell you one more question in which you can easily solve if you remember mean and variance of distribution. Tell me, guys, how many of you have done this question correct? Just let me know. Then I'll move forward for another question. Just let me know. Okay. Guys, if there are more questions of ML and AI, just let us know. So the question was there that these are the options. First option, local minima, global minima, third local maxima, and global maxima. So they are saying that, let's suppose let me tell you the question. Let me rephrase this question. Let's suppose that any point x naught, my derivative is 0, and at that point, my double derivative is greater than 0. Then what would I have? then what would I can guarantee that I would have? We remember that by by second derivative test that we will have a local minima. We can't tell exactly that it would be a global minima or global maxima, but it would surely be a local minima. So local minima would be the right option, guys. Okay, hi Deepak. Guys, this question, how many students have done correct? So guys, we are coming up with more question. You have to help us. You have to let us know. Okay, so guys, this yes, ma'am. Jignesh answer is correct. So, guys, there was this question. This is completely based on definition of continuity and differentiability. So, what this question says, let me solve it. So, the question here is, let's suppose we have a function fx and it is minus x when x is less than minus 2 and it is ax square plus bx plus c. And I know that, guys, this question was just a minute. Let me write down it properly. I know that this question is have options, right? Right now we do not have options because you guys are giving us the questions. Our students are giving us the question, so they do not remember the question. So we have just pasted it at what question I am getting, and I'm just telling you the answer so that you can match. Minus x when x is less than minus 2, and it would be ax square plus bx plus c when x lies between minus 2 to 2, right? And when x is greater than 2, we have it is x. So guys, anybody, what would be the values of a, b, c? If any of you remember what value you got it, just let me know. Okay, so let's solve it. Okay, one Neojod has gate 1, 1 and minus 4. Anybody else, guys? So what would you do? First, I'll apply the continuity definition. What continuity definition says that function's value and the point and the left hand limit and right hand limit all would be equal. So here I'll use limit x approaches to minus 2 negative fx is equals to f of minus 2, right? And that would give me minus 1, sorry, minus of minus 2, that would be 2. And it would, when I'll put minus 2 in this, what would it become? 4a minus 2b plus c, right? This equation one I got. And limit x approaches to 2 positive, fx would be equal to f of 2, right? So if I'll solve it, what would I get? I'll get this value 2 and the right hand side would be 4a plus 2b plus c. But you can see that here we have only three variables and three we only have two equations and three variables. So what would I do? I'll use the differentiation. So I can write down left hand limit for the derivative. Let's first find out f dash x because it is given to me differentiable. So I can write down here minus x and I can write down 2ax plus b and I can write down here 1. So x is less than minus 2 and let me write down it. So I can write down this as minus 2 less than equal to x less than equal to 2. And I can write down here x is greater than equal to 2. So can I get two equation from here? So what would be left hand limit would be minus 1 is equals to minus 4a plus b, right? Because again I have find out the differentiation. So differentiation function would be continuous and one equation would be 1 is equals to 4a plus b. Right, now let's solve these two equations. So if I'll add these two, what would I get? I'll get from here b is equals to 0. B would be 0 here, guys. Now if I'll put in these two equations the value of b, what would I get? Let's first find out the a value from here. A would be 1 by 4. A would be 1 by 4. Let's put in any of the equation. A b value 4 into 1 by 4 plus 2b, that is 2 into 0 plus c, that is 2. So c value would become 4 into, sorry, that would be 1 by 4. So C value would become 1, right? So guys, in this question, the values are 1 by 4, 0 and 1. Then your answer is correct. 1, Shalini, we already have solved this question, but thanks for sharing this question. Uh, so just let me know, guys, how many of you get the answer, this answer here. So the correct answer is the value of A is equals to 1 by 4, the value of B is equals to 0, and the value of C is equals to 1. Right? This is the answer. Okay, so should we move to next question? Or is there anybody have to add to this question? Okay, guys, so I am moving to the next question. Right, Shalini, thank you for sharing this question. I'll discuss this question as well. Yeah, thank you. You can share more and more questions. Uh, so guys, this question basically it is let me write down it correctly. So here, guys, the question was giving me that we have given the exponential distribution lambda e to the power minus lambda x, where lambda is greater than 0, right? So we have given this exponential distribution, right? Now they have given that 5 into expectation of x is equals to variance of x. Then I have to find out the value of lambda. Again, guys, this is a question based, if you have remembered expectation and variance of exponential distribution and the probability density function, then you would be able to solve it. So anybody can tell me that what answer you got, guys? Anyone? And they this is a numerical based question, and they ask you to find out the value of lambda up to 1 decimal place. Anyone, guys? 1 by lambda. Okay, right. Lambda is given. So I have to find out the value for lambda. Abid. Okay, Abid is telling me expectation and variance for exponential distribution, right? Abid, expectation of x for exponential distribution is 1 by lambda, and variance of x for exponential distribution is 1 by lambda square. So if I'll put the value here, 1 by lambda and 1 by lambda square, and from here I'll get 5 lambda square is equals to lambda. So can I write down this as 5 lambda square minus lambda is equals to 0? So I can write down here 5 lambda minus 1 and lambda. So here are two possibilities. Either 5 lambda minus 1 is equals to 0 or lambda is equals to 0, right? But lambda is equals to 0 not possible, because if I'll put lambda is equals to 0 in this question, then the complete function would become 0, right? So I do not want that, because this is my density function. So here lambda would I'll get here that is 1 by 5, right? So lambda is 1 by 5. So that means 0.2 would be your answer. Prashant is asking how you remember the question. Just forget what did I solve in the examination. So guys, we have multiple students who are helping us so that we can give you the best questions available with us. So our whole team is working with us so that we can provide you all the questions solutions. It would be helpful for other students who are coming, who are preparing for the next year, and also who have given the exam can check that have they done the correct question or not. So just tell me, guys, how many of you got this answer point two? Anyone, guys, got the answer point two? Okay, so let's move to the next question. Okay, so guys, this question is little bit calculative, but I hope all of you have done it. In this, I have given this function 1 upon 1 plus e to the power minus x. Guys, I know some of the students are telling that previously we have solved, our team has solved with 1 plus 1 that means something like minus x, right? Minus x or 1 upon 1 minus x, something like that. But yeah, you guys are giving us question. So the question you are giving us, we are solving here, right? So we have this function fx. Now I can find out the derivative f dash x. So what would be the derivative? I can use 1 upon 1 plus e to the power minus x square, denominator square, and derivative of this function with minus sign. So it would become 1, derivative of 1 is 0, and derivative of e to the power minus x would be e to the power minus x. So it would become e to the power minus x upon 1 plus e to the power minus x square. Guys, I know that many of you have faced this problem when you would you have to put x is equals to zero point 0.4 and just put that in the calculator, right? Yeah, that is a little bit difficult task because you have to put in that calculator zero point 0.4 e to the power minus zero point 0.4, right? So this is the answer. Now, can anybody tell me that because let me check what would be the calculation for this. Yeah, the calculation would be something 0.24. Just tell me, guys, how many of you have done this question correct? Okay, so I hope you guys got this question correct because this question was really easy. You just have to find out the derivative and put all the values in the calculator, right? Okay, should we move to next question, guys? Okay, let's see next question. Guys, this type of question I already solved on YouTube as well as in our courses as well, right? This question, can anybody tell me what distribution does this question follow? This question follow geometric distribution because what it says, if there is a fair dice with numbered 1 to 6, find the number of expected roll after which consecutive even number appears. So we want consecutive even numbers. So first of all, what are the cases? So we have 2, 4, and 6. These are the three cases in which I can get consecutive even number. So first of all, find out probability of getting consecutive even number. Getting consecutive. That means we have to roll a dice till we'll get consecutive even number, right? Probability of getting consecutive even number. Can anybody tell me what would be the probability of getting consecutive even number? What is the meaning of infinite series? Abhi is asking. Infinite series, that means it terms goes up to infinity. That means if I'll write down 1 plus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 3 plus 1 by 4 plus up to like that. That means it going to up to infinity. So that we call as infinite series. Jadira, you have to tell your friends that they should come here for solving the question. Then watching would get high. So, guys, it's up to you. We are getting with lots of questions. Our both faculties are working on other subject questions. So, just tell your friends and all your uh, all your colleagues and all those people who have given the exam that we are solving the questions. Like probability of getting consecutive even number. That means what are the cases? I can get 2, 2, 4, 4, 6, 6. And what are the cases? 2, 4, 2, 6, and 4, 6, and 6, 4. Okay, let me put it that way instead of writing that. Let's say because I want consecutive even number. What would you do? You will write down here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So in this case, I'm not getting consecutive even number, but in this case, I'll get. So 2, 2 would give me consecutive number 2, 4, 2, 6. Similarly, 4, 2, 4, 4, 4, 6, 6, 4, 6, 2, 6, 6. So that means we'll have right, Abid. Right. So we have the cases 2, 2, 2, 4, and 2, 6, and 4, 2, 4, 4, and 4, 6, right? And 6, 4, 6, 2, 6, 4, and 6, 6. So that means out of total, we have 9 cases which will give me consecutive even number, right? So that means out of total, I'll get 9. And how many cases I have? 36. Out of 36 cases, I'll get even number. So its probability would be 1 by 4. And as Abid told us, that expectation of geometric distribution is 1 by p. Expectation of geometric distribution. Geometric distribution is 1 by p. Right, and probability here is 1 by 4, so 1 upon 1 by 4, that would give me expectation 4. So how many of you have you done this question correct? I know that this question is little bit tricky, but if you know geometric distribution, then you would be easily solve it. Okay, so should we move to next question, guys? Tell me. Tell me if any of you have done this question correct, guys. Okay, let's move to next question. Just a minute. A function on differentiable. Guys, this is not a question. As I get from the student, let me tell you what was the question. The question was that fx is equals to x to the power 4 by 4 minus x cube. Yeah, just a minute. No problem, Jignesh. Let's check another question if you got that correct or not. Just don't uh, feel bad for that. And we have this question x square plus x square upon 2, and we have something, let's say 4 here, something like that. This was the question, and you have to check. There are some options, and in that option you have to find out that at what point you are getting a minima and what point you are getting a maximum. Guys, this question was there or not? Just tell me that you have to find out maxima and minima at a certain points. They have given the critical point. Just tell me, guys, this question was there or not? Tell us, guys. Okay. So what would you do? You would find out the differentiation. So that would give you x to the power 4. If you will differentiate, that would become x to the power 4 minus, sorry, x cube. Just a minute. X cube minus x square and minus x. Guys, tell me, is upon 2 would be there or not? Would it be minus 2x? Yeah, this was a question, right? So now I have to find out critical point. So what would I do? I'll take x common. I'll left with x square minus x minus 2. Or would it be 3x square by 2? I think something like that. Because just tell me, guys. So it would become minus 3 equals to 0. So I'll find out a root. So x square minus 3x. Okay. And this would be minus 2. Just check this question, guys. X square minus 3x plus x minus 3 equals to 0, right? So the roots would become x into x minus 3 into x plus 1 equals to 0. So the roots would become 0, minus 1 and 3, right? These three would be the critical points. Now at these critical points, I have to find out maxima and minima. And for that, what would I do? I'll find out double derivative, f double dash x. X cube would become 3x square minus 4x, and that would be minus 3. Now, first of all, I'll check at 0. At 0, I'll get minus 3. That means f double dash x is less than 0. That means at this point, I have minima. I'll find out for f double dash of 3. So that would give me 27 minus 12 minus 3. That will give me 12 plus 3, 15. That is 12 greater than 0. Okay, just a minute, guys. This would be a minus 3 would be gives me maxima, right? And this would give me minima, right? And if I'll check for f double dash of minus 1, that would give me 3 plus 4 minus 3. That would be 4. That is greater than 0. So in this case, I have minima. So that means at x is equals to minus 1 and 3, I have minima, and at x is equals to 0, I have maxima. How many of you have done correct this question? How many of have you done this question correct? Just tell me, guys. Okay. So I hope this question was really easy. Let's move to next question. Just a minute. Let me see another question. Okay. So guys, that's all we have for maths question. Uh, Okay, so that's all we have for maths question. We have some more questions which more faculties coming up with you. Let me stop sharing my screen. We have, okay, Buzunor has done this question correct. Uh, Ravi is saying, I think answer of question number 15 is 1 by 2. I kept two option, a max 3, 0 max and 3 minimum. Right, right, right. These two options were correct. Right. Let me check what was the question number 15. Uh, okay, Ravi, why you are saying that 1 by 2 is correct? Because expectation, you have to find out the expectation, right? And what is expectation? Expectation is 1 upon probability. And if you are saying 1 by 2, so that means if you are saying expectation is 1 by 2, that means probability is 2. That cannot be possible. Right? And if you will see any of the geometric distribution question, you would find out that the questions have expectation in numbers. Sum of even numbers they asked. Uh, Sum of even numbers. No, the question was like the question which student told us. It was a if there is a fair dice slide with number 1 to 6, find the number of expected roll after which you will uh, receive consecutive even number. The question was consecutive even number, not sum of even number they asked. Okay, if you feel the question was different, just let us know the complete question in the chat section so that we can come up with that solution. But okay, Islam is saying solve the boy-girl probability question which Shalini asked. Let me see that question as well. Just give me a minute, guys. I'm going through your chat. Uh, okay, the probability of let me show this question. Yeah, this was a question. The probability of having a boy or a girl is 1 by 2. Let me just solve this question as well. Just give me a minute, guys. Let me solve this. Let me share my screen so that we can solve that question there. Okay, so guys, I'm solving it. Let me share my screen. Let me share my screen. Yeah, the question was probability of having a boy or a girl is 1 by 2. Let me slide show it. The probability of having a boy or a girl. So that means probability of boy is 1 by 2 and probability of girl is 1 by 2, right? This was a question. And family of a 3 children, what is the probability? So they are asking me probability that they have 2 girls and 1 boy, right? So what would be the probabilities? Guys, this is a binomial distribution questions. So let's suppose probability of a success is having a girl, right? So if I'll take P is equals to 1 by 2. So that means out of 3 times in total, we have done the experiment 3 times, 3C2, right? Because we want 2 girls, 3C2, and we get 1 by 2 to the power 2. That means we are getting 1 by 2 to the power 2 times girls and 1 by 2 to the power 1. That means 1 time boy. So it would become 3 into 1 by 4 into 1 by 2. That means 3 by 8. This is simple. Okay. Yeah, this was the answer. Guys, how many of have you done this question correct? Esram, have you done this question correct? Anhad, yeah, 3 by 8 is the correct answer. So, yeah. So, I hope all of you have done this questions correct. This question was simple. So, guys, I'll ask another mentor who have solved more questions for you. So, he is going to join the session for further solving the questions. Right. Okay, Rishika, you have done the correct answer.
So let's solve this question number 17. So this probability density function is given to you, P of x equals to lambda e power minus lambda x when x is greater than equal to 0. So they are asking what will be the value of lambda if variance equals to expected value. So this is a standard distribution. If you know, this is a geometric distribution. I'm sorry, this is exponential distribution. So the expected value for this random variable is exponential random variable is 1 upon lambda, and variance is 1 upon lambda square. So they both are equal. So 1 by lambda is 1 upon lambda square. So if we solve, we will get lambda equals to 1. Okay. So of course, lambda is always greater than 0. So lambda equals to 1 is the solution. So computing expectation variance is straightforward, right? If you know the formula, you can directly solve it. So let me just do the calculation for you. If some of you might have forgotten it, let's just do it. Okay. Yeah. So let's do it. Expectation formula is integral x px dx, right? Now that is from 0 to infinity. So it is x lambda e power minus lambda x from 0 to infinity, right? Dx. Now, if you see this is basically a gamma function. So you can just reduce this. So lambda x you can put equals to z. Now dx equals to dz by lambda, right? Now if you change the limits, so if you put x equals to 0, you will get z equal to 0. If you put x tends to infinity, then z will also tends to infinity. So this is nothing but 0 to infinity. X is nothing but z by lambda, and you have again a lambda here, e power minus lambda x is nothing but z, and then dx is nothing but dz by lambda. So this lambda you can cancel, so you will end up with 1 upon lambda integration 0 to infinity z e power minus z dz, right? So this is again a standard gamma function. So gamma integral, this is nothing but 1 upon lambda gamma 2, which is 1 by lambda. So the mean here is 1 by lambda, and for variance, you know the formula. The formula is expectation of x square minus expectation of x whole square, right? Now, how to compute expectation of x square? The same argument, you can easily do the calculation. So you just need to reduce this, right? I mean, you just need to substitute this lambda x equals to z. Let's just do it. Expected value of x square is nothing but 0 to infinity x square times lambda e power minus lambda x dx. Okay, so I'm just using one formula, so which is nothing but expected value of f of x is nothing but f of x px dx. Okay, this formula I'm using. So this is known as Lotus formula, law of unconscious statistician. Okay, so let's do this calculation. Let's put lambda x equals to z. So this will be the same limit, right? You just need to substitute x equals to 0 and then x equals to infinity. So it's going to be 0 to infinity. X square is nothing but z square by lambda square. And again, there is lambda, and e power minus lambda x is e power minus z, and dx is nothing but dz by lambda, right? So you can cancel these two lambdas. So it is nothing but 1 by lambda square 0 to infinity z square e power minus z dz. Again, this is a gamma integral, which is 1 upon lambda square gamma 3. So gamma 3 is nothing but the general formula for gamma n is nothing but n minus 1 factorial when n is a positive integer. So this is 2 factorial by lambda square, which is 2 by lambda square. Now variance of x is nothing but expected value of x square, which is 2 by lambda square minus expectation of x whole square, which is 1 minus lambda square. So this is nothing but 1 by lambda square. So the variance is 1 by lambda square, and the mean is essentially again 1 by lambda, right? So they are same, so you just need to compute the value of lambda. So lambda is equal to 1 is the answer to this question. So again, this is a straightforward question. If you know exponential distribution, you can easily compute the value of lambda, right? This one is an easy question. One can easily solve it. It's a basic probability question. Okay, let's consider the next question. So again, this question is again from probability theory, right? So I'm assuming that x is distributed uniformly between 2 to 4 and y is uniformly distributed between 3 to 5. Now they're asking you to compute the probability of x greater than equal to y, and nothing is given to you, so you can actually assume that okay, they are independent, right? So the joint density is nothing but if they are independent, you can write fxy, the joint density of x and y equals to marginal density of x times marginal density of y. So now marginal density of x is 1 upon 2 between x equals to 2 to 4, between 2 to 4, and fy equals to again 1 by 2 between y equals to 3 to 5. Okay, between 3 to 5. This is the marginal densities which is given to you because they are uniformly distributed. Now fxy is nothing but 1 upon 4 when x is between 2 to 4 and y is between 3 to 5. Okay, and 0 otherwise. Now they are asking you to compute x is greater than equal to y. So let's plot it, right? So x is from 2 to 4. So let's say this is 2, this is 4, and y is from 3 to 5. Let's say this is 3, this is 5, right? So this is the square. Okay. So over this region, the density function is non-zero, and in other regions it is 0. Okay. So let's draw this line. X is greater than equal to y, right? So let's draw y equal to x line. So it is somewhere here maybe. And for 4, okay, this is 5, and this is 4. This is 4. This point is 4. Okay. So this one is the region. Okay. This one. Now they are asking us to compute probability of x is greater than equal to y. X is greater than equal to y means this region, right? This region. Now what is this point? This point is nothing but 3, right? This point is 3, 3. This point is 3, 3. And what about this point? This point is 4, 4. Okay. Now you just need to compute this thing. You just need to integrate this. You just need to compute this region, right? Area of this region. How do you do it? So yeah, probability of x is greater than equal to y is nothing. You need to integrate this function f of xy, which is 1 upon 4 dx dy, and your x is ranging from 3 to 4, right? 3 to 4. Yeah, x is ranging from 3 to 4, and your y is ranging from 3 to x, right? Now this is again a straightforward multiple integral which you can easily solve. So 1 by 4 you can take out, and this is going to be x minus 3 dx. This is 1 upon 4 x squared by 2 minus 3x from 3 to 4. Okay, so this is 1 upon 4. This is 4 squared by 2 minus 12 minus 3 squared by 2 minus 9, which is 1 upon 4. Now this is 4, 4, 16, 8 minus 12 minus, this is 9 by 2 plus 9. If you compute it, you will get minus 4 plus 9 by 2, which is 1 upon 4 times 2, 1. So 1 by 8 is the answer. 1 by 8 is the answer to this question, right? Again, this is a easy question. You can solve it if you know how to draw these regions and how to compute the density function. So then you can easily solve it. It's a straightforward question. One can easily solve it if he or she knows about the uniform distribution and how to compute joint distribution if marginals are given. So again, this is an easy question. Now let's see this question, right? Question number 19. So here you need to compute limit x tends to 0, x square by 1. This should be minus, right? If it is plus, then the problem is trivial. So I don't think it's plus, it has to be minus. Yeah. So again, this is a simple application of L'Hopital rules. L'Hopital rule, see, if you put x equals to 0, this is 0. And if you put x equals to 0 here, cos 0 is 1. So 1 minus 1 is 0. So it's a 0 by 0 form. So you know how to solve this problem. You just need to differentiate, right? So this is nothing but x tends to 0. Differentiate this quantity, which is 2x. Now differentiate this quantity. Now differentiation of cosine x is nothing but sine x. So it's going to be, the cosine x is nothing but minus sine x. So it's going to be sine x, right? Now again, this is 0 by 0 form because sine 0 is 0 and at x equals to 0, 2x is 0. Now again, you can differentiate. So you'll get 2 by cosine x, and now it is not 0 by 0 form. So cosine 0 is 1, so it is 2. The answer to this question is 2 because cos 0 is 1. Right? This is again a simple problem, right? So just a simple application of L'Hopital's rule. So the answer to this question is 2. Yeah, this I solved earlier. So yeah, this one also I solved. So let's see a question from DBMS. Let's see this question. So it's a question of functional dependency. See, this functional dependency set is given to you, that is u to v and u to w and wx to y, wx to z and v to x. Now they are asking, is this functional dependency, can you derive this from this set of functional dependency, this functional dependency vw to y, right? Can you derive that? Let's see. Okay, so for that you just need to consider the closure. So vw closure, if you consider, you will get v, you will get w. Okay, now from v you can derive x, right? From wx you can derive y, right? So of course maybe you can derive other attributes as well, but yeah. So from vw you can derive y. So this is perfectly all right, right? From vw to this functional dependency is correct. Now next, let's take the next functional dependency, which is vw to yz. Right? Yeah, again, from vw you can derive v, from vw you can derive w, from vw again you can derive x from this, because you can derive v to x, and also you can derive y from wx, right? Now from wx also you can derive z, right? So from vw you can derive yz. So this one is also correct. So let's take the next one. So which is vw to, I think this is u. Okay. And now this is definitely not correct, because in the, if you see the right hand side, there is no u, right? There is no u, there is no u, there is no u, there is no u. Again, there is no u. So this is obviously incorrect, right? So you cannot derive the u from v to vw, right? Okay, let's see the next one. So which is wx. So from wx, yz, right? So let's see. So for that we need to consider the closure of wx. So from wx we can derive w, we can derive x, right? From okay, yeah, from wx we can derive y, from wx we can derive z using this one and this one. So yeah, from wx we can easily derive yz. So option A is correct, option B is correct, option D is also correct, but option C is incorrect because from vw cannot derive u because u is not present in the right hand side. So again, this is a simple question from functional dependency. Every year they ask question from functional dependency. So this is doable. This is not a difficult question. One can easily solve it if he or she knows about this functional dependency and closure concept. Right? So this is again an easy question.
When facing an exam like GATE, the stakes are really high. Tough competition, limited opportunities, and lots of hope riding on your shoulders. Geeks for Geeks understands the pressure. And to ensure that you have the best support system to crack GATE CSE 2025, we have launched our latest batch taught by our GATE mentors with more than a decade of teaching experience and multiple GATE top rankers as their students. We know that you got it in you to crack GATE exam. Now all you got to do is commit to learning, commit with Geeks for Geeks.
Okay, so we are live. Okay, so guys, now what we are going to do, we are going to take the live feedback from our students and the students who are currently giving the GATE 2024 data analysis exam. So we are going to invite them over this session and we'll be asking few of the questions that how was the examination environment over there, because this is the first time GATE has organized the examination, and whatever questions you have in your mind you can write down in the chat box and we'll be asking the students. So without any hesitation, do mention all your questions that you want to ask the student from our end, right? So that was, I hope the problem solving was helpful to you guys, basically because the team is currently working very hard at the back end, and further more questions are being solved by the mentors. So do not wait, like do not hesitate. So wait for a few more minutes and you'll be the mentors and the teachers will be coming with the new questions, right? So within few minutes we'll be having the student. So till then, if you have any kind of questions that you want to ask related to this GATE examination, current examination, do write down in the chat box, and on your behalf I'll be posting these questions to the student. Okay. Hi Rudransh, am I audible?
Hello, sir. Yes.
Okay, so first of all, how was the GATE examination? Like, how was the experience?
Yeah, it was good. I didn't expect that many of the people just joined the data science GATE examination. So it was happened the first time. I was very nervous, but it goes well.
Okay, great. And I had many questions in the chat box. So over here, the students were very much curious about the difficulty level. So what do you feel like about the difficulty level of this examination?
For me, as I was not well prepared. So as for me, it was from intermediate to advanced level. But those who are prepared, it's from means it will be intermediate level for them.
Okay. So basically, you need good preparation and uh, yes. So basically, it's not the case that you are not well prepared. So the thing is that every time GATE comes with new surprises, right? So for this
Yeah.
time, it might have been difficult for few of the people, right? And now regarding the subject, like which subject questions were like majorly asked over here? So can we know about the subject?
Uh, Yeah, basically the majority of the things are based on the probability and statistics. Means mathematics section is huge, and some of the question related with the DBMS also. The AI based question are very few. The aptitudes are 10, as it always mentioned in the instruction also, that there are 10 MCQ for the aptitude, but the big amount of question are from the statistics and probability.
Okay, so probability and statistics was the major subject that was covered over here.
Yeah.
And what do you think about the primary syllabus over here, primary subjects like AI and machine learning over here? How was the
Uh,
difficulty level and how were the questions?
Basically, I just faced only one question based on AI, which based on the neural network. So
Mhm.
basically, means it was an advanced question. I didn't
Mhm.
attempt that question, and the ML and AI questions are very few, but not. But the most of the things are related with the maths, I guess.
Okay, so majorly they were trying to cover mathematics this time, right?
Yeah.
And what would you like to tell me about which subject did you feel was much easy over there?
I guess the DBMS part is much easier because I just faced only four question of DBMS, and all the four questions are correct. Uh,
Okay, so according to what we got from the student, so DBMS was little bit easier, and AIML, the questions from AIML were little bit difficult, and majorly the questions were covered from the mathematics section. So these were the major subjects that were targeted this time. So tell me, Rudransh, like what was the environment over there? Like how many students did you see in the examination hall? Like was it much crowded, or the like the students were not that much engaged? So
to
what was
appear
the
in the GATE examination.
yes?
Uh, but at this time, very big amount of people come and appears in the GATE examination. My actually my center was in Ghaziabad, and I didn't expect that many of the people just come in the outer area, but a huge number of populations are come to appear in the data science platform.
Okay, okay. So the field is majorly booming over here. So like, what are you expecting this time? Like, how much score do you expect might be the cutoff this time?
Um, for me, I means I'm not expecting very well, but it's approx from 25 to 30 marks.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Then that's a not a, like basically okay. That's a good score. Like basically, you will be crossing the cutoff, I guess, this time. So yeah, we can move ahead. And do you want to share anything with the students over here, like regarding the preparation strategy? Like what was your preparation strategy, and how did you target this examination?
Actually, as I told you that I was not very well prepared, but I started my preparation within means I just covered all over the topic within 2 months. So if the person start before the 2 months, it will be better for him. Means as early you start, as good you were in the examination. So basically, the
Okay.
preparation is not good for me. So I'm not going to comment anything. Sorry.
Okay, so in 2 months you have prepared well enough that you will be scoring out 25 to 30. Then that's a really good thing, Rudransh.
Yeah.
So if you might have started earlier, then you might have scored a good score over here in the GATE examination. So everyone who is willing to apply for the upcoming GATE 2025, you can start as early as possible, and you can expect a good rank over there at that time, right, Rudransh?
Yeah. Right.
Okay, so Rudransh, anything else you want to share with the audience?
No, nothing from my side.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay. I guess you
Thank you,
might be tired
Geek,
after the
for
examination, so you can take some rest.
yeah,
Oh, okay, okay,
yeah. And I
okay.
just
So it
wanted
was
to thank the Geeks for Geeks to give me such an opportunity to come on this platform. Means live. Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
Students are always welcomed over here, and they can share their experiences, how the examination was done. So we'll also invite the other. You are one of the batchmate. Will also be invited over here, and we'll be asking him as well how was his experience. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Bye bye, Rudransh. It was great
Okay. Bye,
interacting
bye.
with
Thank
you.
you. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So based on the just let me just yeah. So based on the response from the student, he was telling that probability and statistics was the major subject that was covered this time. P and S, probability and statistics, right? So they are focusing more on the mathematics section this time. And regarding the primary subjects AI and ML, so they were a little bit difficult. So if you are going to apply for the next time, and if you are going to go into this GATE examination, so have a good practice on these subjects AI and ML, and the other core subjects of computer science, that is DBMS. So DBMS was meant to be like basically it was easier this time. So the core subjects, I think they might be easier. Okay, so okay, so we are ready with the fresh questions. We have got new questions, so we'll be providing the solutions, and I'm inviting sir. Sir will be taking over this session, and we'll be sharing the solutions.
When facing an exam like GATE, the stakes are really high.
Covered. Okay, so we'll take few more questions that have been shared by a few of our students. So this is the question that is based on recurrence relation. So the question is the recurrence relation of binary search options. So there are two options that the binary search, if you look at the working of binary search, it says that the sequence must be already sorted, and from that particular sequence we first compute the mid value. Okay, we'll compare this mid value with the search parameter. If it is equal to the search parameter, then we'll declare that it is a result position. That means element is found at the mid position. Otherwise, uh, if the mid value is lesser than the search parameter, we have to search into the right section of right sub array of that particular sequence. Otherwise, we have to search into the left half. Okay, so this is nothing but the divide conquer that will compare with the mid value and decide whether I have the exact match, or I have to go for the left half or the right half. If it is a equally partition element, then we can say it is the exact left half and then exact right half. Then in next iteration again it will partition the entire sequence. So let's say this is the particular sequence. Okay, all right, let me pick the pen pair. All right, so this is the particular sequence, this is the entire sequence. We have computed the mid, compared it with, and decided whether we have to jump into the left half or right half. Okay, once we have decided that the right half has to be picked, we'll start this process again. We'll compute the mid over here, and then further we decide whether left half or right half. Then we'll proceed for the next operation and so on. So exactly one comparison for the matching parameter. All right, and then the entire sequence is divided by 2. Okay, let me go back to the exact question. So this is the question position that we first need to compute the mid value. Okay, and the mid value is required to be compared. So only one comparison, that takes the constant time. So in that particular case, this one is fulfilling the particular requirement. Okay, and then we are reiterating the entire process. We are recursively looking for the next half, whether it is left half or right half. So entire sequence is divided into n by 2. So this n by 2 is justifying that function is required to be called on remaining half of that particular sequence. So it is n by 2 and one comparison for the mid particular value. So that is according to that particular logic, the first option is going to be the correct one. Okay, so this is working principle of the binary search. Okay, another possibility is that we can apply the recurrence relation. We can go for the master theorem, and then we can see whether which particular option is going to be correct. Okay, so we know that log n is the computing complexity of this particular problem, binary search. Okay, if we are searching looking any particular element into the binary search, then the complexity of this particular algorithm is going to be the log n. So what we can do, we can solve this particular equation and see whether this is exactly matching or not. So what we have to compute according to master theorem, we have to compute n to the power log a base b. So what is a and b? That is given into the question, that your question should be like this: fn is nothing but a fn by b, okay, plus something. Okay, so here from this particular equation we can get the value of a and b. All right, so looking at this particular equation, first case if I consider, then a is nothing but 1 here and b is nothing but 2 here. All right, so we have to compute this n to the power log 1 base 2, and that is going to be n to the power 0, because log 1 is ultimately going to be the 0. Okay, so n to the power 0 is nothing but the constant, that is equals to 1. And in this particular case, it is nothing but equal to this parameter, this 1. Okay, so it is one of the case. Okay, now there are three cases in the master theorem, if you can recall that. The cases are n to the power log a base b minus epsilon, or n to the power log a base b plus epsilon, or n to the power log a base b. So either this is equal to fn or this equal to fn. Any one of these can be equal to fn. Okay, now if you look at this particular scenario, the third option is going to be the correct one. Okay, and according to this, if this particular option is correct, your solution will be, so fn will be equal to theta of sorry, this will be theta of, I'm just writing down here, theta of n to the power log a base b log n. Okay, so if I put the value over here, this is going to be theta of n to the power 0 log n base 2. So it is going to be nothing but log n base 2. Okay, so that is the required outcome. So according to this, first option will be the correct one. Okay, second is definitely not. Second is definitely not. It is saying that this is floor of n by 2. Okay, so that means n by 2 sequences further divided into n by 2 and so on. So that is definitely diverting than the binary search concept. Okay, so option 1 in this particular case is going to be the correct option. All right, so I guess this is visible now. Okay, so this is the correct output. So there are two mechanisms to solve this particular question, whether you can follow the concept. Okay, so only one comparison for the mid value, so this is going to be the constant. Okay, and then deciding whether we have to search into the left half or right half. Okay, so you can write the algorithm, not only the exact complete algorithm, you can just simply write the first few lines and then you can decide from that whether which one is the correct option. And in my opinion, the first one is the correct option. All right, look at the next question. I guess this is somewhat blurry to you. Let me read it. So this is the DAG, directed acyclic graph, where P is connected to Q, R is connected to Q, Q is further connected to S, V, and S is connected to U, and V is connected to T. All right, so let me redraw here for you. So this is P connected to Q, R is connected to Q, Q is connected to S, S is connected to U, and Q is further connected to V, and V is connected to T. So this is the DAG given to you, and the question is, which of the following is R? That means it is possible that there are multiple correct options for this particular question. If this such kind of situation is given to you that is oblique R, in that particular case, it is possible that there is only one question, one option is correct, or more than one option is also correct in that particular situation. So it says that which of the following is our valid vertex ordering. Okay, so valid vertex ordering that can be obtained from the topological sorting. All right, so this particular question is based on topological sorting. So topological sorting says from this particular graph you can start sorting with a particular node which has in degree 0. All right, which has in degree 0. So what we can do, we can start with either P or R. All right, we can start sorting from P or R. In that that means your sequence must start with RP or PR. So look at the options. So your options are PRQVSUT and PQRS. So Q is the node which is having degree 2. Looking at this, yes, in order in degree is 2. So we cannot start with Q, okay, because R is still left that has in degree 0. So either we can start with P or we can start with R. So the combination, the starting sequence must be, or you can say the ordering of the node can be PR or RP. Okay, so we have to look at this particular possibility. So looking at that, option B and C are the wrong option because that includes the first two terms as PQ. So the ordering of the nodes are invalid in these two cases. Okay, so we cannot start with the topological sorting using these two orderings. Okay, so there are only two possibilities that A or D can be the correct option. All right, since both are starting with P and R. After that, we can follow any particular order. So this PR and PR in option A and D are the correct option. So for this particular question, there are two correct options, A and D. So this is the multiple correct option, A and D for this particular question. Okay. So the necessary clause is that we can start with the topological sorting where the node in degree must be 0. All right. So that is the basic necessary condition over here. So this particular node P is valid for that particular search and R is also valid for that particular starting. Okay. So the correct order of this particular topological sorting must be A or D. All right. So meanwhile, if you have any doubt related to this, please write into the chat box. Okay. Write into the live session. I'm here looking at your questions. Just write your questions over here. All right. Meanwhile, we have the before I proceed to this particular question, let me share some experiences of the users that they are saying that questions related to the Pythons are based on finding the output of that particular question. So there are a program fragment in the Python syntax, and in that particular case you have to dry run that particular code and find the outcome. Okay, so since that particular codes are lengthy, so we are not able to get that question till now. If we get that particular question, we'll definitely see what will be the dry run and what will be the outcome corresponding to that particular problem. Okay, and since they are the simple one, okay, on the feedback of the aspirants, we are saying that questions were simple, but they were too lengthy. Okay, so the Python part, even if you look at the AI ML part, the questions are questions are maximum 3, 4, or 5 as per the feedback of the students, and they are more toward the theoretical. Since this was the first experiment, or this is the first conduct of data analytics or data science AI course. Okay, so that's why they were not able to, I guess, put the questions at different complexity level. So they have put some theoretical question on data machine learning and AI. All right. Now come to this particular question. The question number 10, that is given following input. So the input sequence is 4322, 1334, 1471, 9679, 1989, 6171, and 6173, 4199. And the hash function is given as x mod 10. So now we have the x value, that hash value, that hash can be computed as x mod 10. Okay, now x is simply supposed to be replaced with these values. Okay, once we replace this x with the given value, okay, we'll compute the this mod operation that will simply return the remainder of the division operation, and that means I'm just showing you a simple example that 4322 is going to be divided with 10. So we'll compute the mod, that means remainder of this, and once I divide this, it is going to give me the quotient as 432 and the remainder is 2. Okay, so this remainder is treated as index corresponding to this particular value. Okay, so I must have the hash table, and let's say it is starting from 0, 1, 2, and since the divisor is 10, in that particular case this size is going to be 9. All right, so what we can do, we can insert a particular value in this scenario. So 4322 is going to be indexed at this particular index 2. Okay, similarly we have to apply mod operation on 1334, and that is definitely to be stored at 4 index, so it is going to be 1334. All right, so by this we have to apply this particular operation. That means we have to divide it by 10 and we'll look at the remainder, and that remainder will be nothing but the index corresponding to each and every element. Now look at this particular sequence. If we take the remainder, so remainder is going to be the last digit. Okay, if you look at the particular sequence, your remainder is going to be the last digit, because this is the decimal division. Okay, so if you look at the question that says which of the following statements are true, and if we divide it, so this values, all those values whose last digit is going to be the same, they will collide at the same position. Okay, they will fight to be inserted at the same position. So definitely there will be a collision. That means 1471 is going to be collided with 6171. Okay, that means these two numbers are going to occupy the same index. That index number 1 is to be occupied by these two elements. All right. So in that particular case, option 2 is going to be the correct one. That means 1471 and 6171 has the same value. Okay, same hash value. So this is going to be the correct option. Now look at the first option. All must have here all the cases have 9 as the last digit. Okay, so in this particular case, if I apply mod 10, the index value, the hash value is going to be 9 for all three elements. That means all three elements will acquire the same hash position or acquire the same index in the hash table. So in that particular case, it is also going to be the correct option. Okay, and since these much elements are having the same index, so option third cannot be the correct one, because it is saying that all the elements are has to the same index value. That is not true, because it is indexed at 9, it is indexed at 1. This element is going to be indexed at 2. This is indexed at 4. This particular index is has to be indexed at 3. So all the elements are has at the same index value is not the correct option. So this is the wrong option. All right. Each element hashes to a different value. Again, that is the wrong option, because here we can see that this is the collision. Okay, and since that is the collision, all element cannot have the distinct location. So option 4 is also wrong. So here we have two options, that option number 1 and option number 2 are the correct options. All right. I'm still waiting for your response. If you have any doubt, please put here. If you have any doubt related to question that I'm solving here, or you have any your experience, please share here, that we can discuss. All right, come to the question number 11. So the question number 11 is, if a start state is 1 and every state, okay, so this is the question related to graph. You can say start state is 1 and every state n expands n plus 1 and n plus 2. This is the important term. Here you can refer. This is the important term, that n is expanded to n plus 1 and n plus 2. All right. So this is nothing but the directed one. Okay. This is the directed graph. So we cannot trace back to n minus 1 or n plus 3 or so on. Okay. So this is a directed graph, that n is restricted to visit n plus 1 and n plus 2. All right. Then the number of states explode to reach the goal number of 6. All right. So first we have to complete the graph. Let me complete the graph over here. So I'll start with the 1. Okay. So this is state 1 that can reach to state number 2, or it can reach to state number 3. All right. By the definition, 1 can expand to 1 plus 1 or 1 plus 2. All right. Now look at 2. 2 can expand to 2 plus 1, that is 3, or 2 plus 2, that is 4. All right. Proceed for 3. 3 can expand to 3 plus 1 or 3 plus 2, that is 5. Then 4 can expand 4 plus 1, that is 5, and 4 plus 2, that is 6. Similarly, 5 can explore to 5 plus 1 and then 5 plus 2, 7. And definitely it is going to be higher for this particular case. My goal is 6 over here. That means this particular node is the target. Okay. 6 is going to be the target in this particular scenario. So the question is, if we start exploring this particular graph, my number of visits to the particular node is going to be lesser or greater or equal in two search criteria, two search functions, that is depth first search or breadth first search. Okay. So whether the comparison is going to be equal, one comparison is lesser than another one, or we cannot proceed for the searching. Okay. So here the start is 1. The start state is defined as 1. So we can start with the source node. So source node is known to us. We can start with this. Okay, I'm marking it as a star over here. So this is the start node, and we can by starting this start node 1, we can traverse according to the depth first search and breadth first search. let me explore this particular question. Let me solve this question for you. And once we are able to solve this question, we are able to decide whether DFS or BFS are equal. That means number of widget of the particular nodes are equal into both the cases, or someone is lesser. Can't reach is not the possibility, because if we start exploring from 1, we can follow the path 3 to 5 to 6, 1 to 2, 4, 6, or 1, 3, 4, 6. So there are too many possibility to visit this particular node. Okay, so there are more number of comparisons. It is possible that both are equal, or both there is some relation of lesser or equal, greater. Okay, so possibilities are there, but we can't say that we cannot reach to the node number 6. Okay, so option D is the wrong option. That we cannot reach is not the correct answer. Okay, so let me first apply the DFS, depth first search. For that, we'll use the stack. I'll insert the node 1 over here. Then in next widget, I have to follow one particular path out of all the adjacent. So there are 2 adjacent corresponding to 1, that is 2 and 3. So that is by choice. You can follow either 2 or 3. So I'm just going to have the minimal possibility. I have just taken 3 over here, 2 over here. Then I'll visit from 2. There is again 2 possibility to reach 3 or 4. So I'm taking the shortest path. Okay, so that you can see, that you can visualize over here, that I am just looking for the fastest reach to the goal number 6. Okay, so then after 4, we can have the multiple possibility that we can either move to 5 or we can reach to 6. So it is 1, 2, 4, and 6. So in this particular case, if I start the DFS, we can have the minimum possibility to reach this particular node is 4. Okay, so 4 number of states are required to be visited to reach this particular node 6, including the 6. Okay, now we can have any other possibility of the DFS. Let's say I can start with 1, then 2, then 2 to 3, then 3 to 5, and then 5 to 6. Okay, this is also one possibility. Another possibility is that we can start with 1, then directly jump to 3, then 4, then 6. So minimum again is going to be 4, but we cannot go lesser than this. If we follow DFS algorithm, we cannot go lesser than this. Now just explore the BFS possibility. We have to start with 1, then we have to visit each and every adjacent node in the next level. So in next level, there is possibility that 2 and 3 to be visited. Okay, and then in the next further visit, either we can start with 2 or we can start with 3, because they are at the same level. So we can start with any of these particular node. So let's say I'm starting with 2. So starting with 2, there is visit to 4 only, because 3 is already explored. Okay, and then for 3, because that is again having the, so all the elements in the same level has to be visited. So we have to explore all the possibilities. So 3 has to visit the further possibility. So there is 2 adjacent, 4 and 5. 4 is already traversed, so it will only visit 5. Okay, and then either you can start with the 4 or start with the 5. Then we have the possibility to reach 6. Now look at the possibility that if we traverse and reach to the 6, we have to visit at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 nodes in case of BFS. Okay, so 6 nodes are supposed to be traversed in case of BFS. That means DFS is definitely going to be lesser than the BFS. So option 3rd is going to be the correct. DFS is lesser than BFS. First and second and the 4th option is wrong in this particular scenario. I'm sure you are able to get this particular question. If you have any doubt related to this, please write into the chat box. I'm consistently looking at your chat box. So if you have any doubt, any question related to this, please ask. All right. I'm jumping to the next question. Just look at this. Since it is shared in a written page, I guess it is not visible to you. I'm just going to read this particular question for you. So the question is, let fn is a function which is denoting the maximum number of comparison. Okay, this is the maximum number of comparison while searching using in binary search over a sorted sequence, over a sequence which is already sorted. So the question is, you have already given a sorted sequence and you have to apply binary search. Okay, and this fn is denoting the maximum number of comparison to find that particular element. Okay, so the maximum number of comparison is going to be, the option is fn is going to be f n by 2, the lower bound of n by 2. Okay, this is the floor function, f floor function of n by 2. Second option is fn floor function of n by 2 plus ceiling function of n by 2. Okay, so this is the function of floor function n by 2 plus ceiling function of n by 2. So in binary search, we have just seen a one question that says in binary search, this is going to be half of partitioning of the entire sequence, that whether we have decided to widget into the left half or right half. So every time we have decided to search only half of the particular sequence. And if you look at the comparison, that means from the first sequence we'll pick the one element, first element to be compared, then in the remaining half we'll select the one element to be compared. For the remaining half we have to compare. So that means in total comparison, if to exhaust the entire sequence, what we have to do, we have to simply search even lesser than half of the entire sequence. Okay, so in that particular case, if you look at the possibility that it is going to be n minus, third option is going to be n minus 1 plus 1. That means total number of element minus 1 and then one additional comparison. So this is not going to be the correct option. Then it is floor value of n by 2 plus 1. That means half plus additional comparison. So looking at all three options, my submission is that only half or lesser than that comparison is possible. So we cannot go for B, C or D option. That means option number A is supposed to be the correct one for this particular question. So for binary search, the function for maximum comparison must be floor of n by 2. Okay, so that must be floor of n by 2. All right, we can go for more tight bound situation, but I'm just comparing these given situations. All right. Okay, so far we do not have a further question. Let me explore if we have a few more questions that is submitted by our aspirants. Meanwhile, I'll call Krishna to join and share his experience with Jay. No, this is okay. Devashish and Krishna will join this particular session further to continue to share with the experiences and further questions.
Hi, this new year we got a very special message for us. The message says, thanks GeeksforGeeks team for this amazing course. Just cracked government exam with AIR2 and got call for document verification. Excited for GATE 2024. This 2024 year has started well for me. These are the words of one of our students enrolled in GATE Computer Science course, and trust me, this not only motivate other students but us teachers as well to put in that extra effort. First of all, many congratulations Ishan. If you too are a GATE Computer Science 2025 aspirant, I invite you to check out our GATE CS course. Till then, keep learning.
So, hello everyone, once again, I am here with one more student. So we are going to be calling him in the live stream, and we'll be taking all of his views. How did his paper go? Krishna is here. Welcome, Krishna. How are you?
Hello, sir. How are you, sir? I'm fine.
Krishna, we are also good. Just the very first question for you. How was your paper? How did the paper go?
Sir, the level of paper is a little bit easy, and in the intermediate part, it is not very much tough for the tech background students, because
Okay.
the questions that are asked in the exams are from very basics. The questions of the DSAs are very basics, and some of the very few questions are there that that have the level of intermediate. And I don't think so there is much questions that are hard enough to solve them. And but
Okay.
the AI and ML part was a little bit less.
Okay, comparatively, you mean to say that as per your analysis, although the paper was of DS, but the
Yes,
portion of ML and AI was comparatively less. Okay,
yes.
still, and you were stating that most of the questions were from easy to moderate level, right?
Yes, so one of the question of the DSA that was very easy is of the FIFO, LIFO, and one column is of FIFO,
Right.
LIFO, and the
Question.
lookup, and the other options that have to match is stack, queue, and the hash function.
Hash
So
map.
this is
So
the
that was
very, very basic question.
right. So I we can agree on that that one marker DSAs were comparatively easier, right? And
Yes.
what about Python questions?
So Python questions are means the questions have means intermediate levels. We have to just give the output of the Python codes that are basically, and there are basically loop questions, and the nested loop questions are basically there.
So, if I say that if a person is very well familiar with the syntax of Python, and he is well versed with dry running a program, then even the lengthier programs were not a very tough nut, right, to crack.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So, Krishna, it feel by your review that you are giving, the perfect analysis that you are providing, I can already say that the paper went well for you, is it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we do have inputs from like more people from there as well. Uh, okay, so again, Krishna is here. If you have any question that you would want to ask Krishna, you can ask him. He has just given the paper that happened today, and he has performed really well. He also remembers most of the things, and he also picked up one of the questions that we have, the question we started our session with, one of the one markers of the essay. There is a voice echo. Team, please sort it out. Okay. So, Krishna, just give me a minute. Let the team sort out the echo, and I'm going to be continuing. Just stay for a minute.
Okay, sir.
Just give me a second. Krishna, I guess the echo is from your side because I believe you are not using an earphone, so that is why
So
it must be there. Just give me a second.
now is it fine?
Hello.
Yeah.
Okay, so Pradyuman Kumar is actually asking, how was the reasoning and mathematical part?
So, look, reasoning is from basically of the from the probability and stats, and it is little bit easy for the student who are just go through the basics parts, because the level of the I think I go through the reasoning and the probability part is little bit easier as compared to previous exams, and it is up to the intermediate marks. It is not just too hard questions are there.
Okay, so we can say the level of question that we have seen in previous computer science exam and computer science gate exams, actually the bar is little lesser for data science, right?
Yes.
For this particular paper, we can say. But we do have to keep in mind that this was the very first paper. So it could be a chance that it can go even harder in future. So we have to prepare for the we have to be prepared for the worst. So we know that all the insights that we are getting from this session, we have to keep all that in mind, but we do not have to just uh, make a thought that TS is going to be easy, because this was the first paper that happened, and like for many people, we are getting mixed responses. Like people are saying that for a few people it was tough, but we can see Krishna is here. He was actually very well prepared. So he is saying that it was from easy to moderate level. And talking about reasoning as well, he is himself saying that seeing the previous GATE exams that have happened, the reasoning in this DS is comparatively easier. Mm. Okay, Krishna, there is one person who is asking a very specific question. I don't hopefully you would be remembering that question. Well, one person is saying one dictionary based question Python problem was there where recursive calls were made. Options were not matching for him particularly. So, did that question match for you?
Sir, actually, exact question. I also don't remember that exact question. But yeah,
Okay.
one question is from the dictionary was there in the question paper. Because
So, it was.
actually the
Yeah.
Python's questions are too lengthy. Means the
Okay.
length of the questions are too big.
So, if I ask you, Krishna, so majorly Python had two marker questions, right? Because those were lengthier.
Uh,
Is that the case?
as I remember, there are two, three questions of the Pythons are there, and I think they are of 2 marks. Yes.
Because do you remember any one marker Python?
No, sir. There is no
So
very
basically,
few
one
questions are
marker
there. Only
was
I
only
think
for
two
DSA.
questions. Yes.
Okay, so Python actually, if you are well versed with Python and you are able to dry run programs well, then you
Hmm.
have 6 marks with you, right? We can say that from
Yes.
6 to 8 marks,
Yes.
there is like a fix for you. Great. There
Yes.
is one more question. Um, okay, actually, Shreyansh Pathak is having discussion with someone else. Okay, again, I would want to urge the audience. Krishna is here, and if you want to ask any question from him, if you want to like make check that what what you have marked is correct or not, we can discuss it right here. Also, just a second, Krishna. Also, we are solving more of the questions, and we are going to be coming up with more questions after it, just in a couple of minutes. Till then, stay tuned. And again, if you remember any question which we have not discussed so far, please mention that in the chats. Okay, there again, one person remembers his answer, and he's saying the probability question having the answer 0.125, right or wrong? Krishna, do you remember that question?
Mm, exactly, because there are a lot of questions related
There
to
are a lot of
property. I think
questions. I
two, three.
understand.
There
I
are two, three
understand your
questions.
situation, Krishna.
Two, three questions
Okay,
are there.
probability.
Yeah.
Okay, Krishna, if you talk about like in general the weightage of mathematics, I have been hearing that it has been
Hmm.
like quite big. So is it so?
Yes. Yes, sir. It is true that the maths portion was little bit more weightage than the other portions.
Okay, so maths was
Um,
there. Number of questions were greater than DS and AI combined, and Python question were a little lengthier, but it's still
yes.
two marker questions, three, right? We got three
Two
two
mark.
marker questions.
Yeah.
And along with that, we have DSA based question in which we have seen one marker DSA being really easy, correct? And further on the DS
Yes.
question that we've discussed so far, we have seen that all the major topic that we discussed at the initial stage of this session, which is actually from the curriculum that we were going through, most of the questions were directly from there. So, like a few questions, as I remember, are directly from hashing, and the hashing question is
Yes.
actually comparatively easy. It wouldn't take more than a minute for you to realize what the answer is, right?
Yes, sir.
So again, you are seeing that the weightage of the paper is quite a little different from what we have predicted, but in very accurate in terms of Python and DSA as well. Mathematics is a lot. So whosoever was prepared with mathematics, obviously, they are going to have an upper hand in it.
Yes.
Okay, Sanket is saying last question, neural network answer.
Yeah, that question was of from deep learning.
So did you
I
answer that?
think no, sir. Actually, I don't remember that part. That's why was that question is very good question. I think this is from the neural network from the deep learning question, deep learning part.
Okay, actually, so that confirms. So let us rely on our team to solve that question, and please stay tuned and mark that question. We are going to be coming up with a solution of that soon. You can be right there, Krishna, as well. Okay, so there is one more question. A question was there. Required matching to column. Okay, okay, okay. Some person is saying there was matching to column again, but in the like in this case, it was naive Bayes and logistic regression. So
Yes,
in
yes.
machine learning too,
A
there was
question
no
is
matching
there.
question.
Yes, sir. A question was there that that is connected to the machine learning part of having two columns, but exactly words are not. I think I am not remembering that. But one column is having the naive Bayes, and the other column is generative AI, and one column is,
Okay,
I
you have to
think,
mark it like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Okay, so at least obviously this question would be of one marks, right? One mark a
Hmm.
question. Yep, and this was comparatively easier. If you knew it, you simply could have just attempted it. It must not take any time. Hmm. So Python question 112. Okay. So any more discussion that you would want to do with Krishna, guys? Krishna has taken out time after his very hectic exam for us for our discussion so that we can directly get inputs from him. Do you want to interact with him? Do you have any more questions? Okay, till the people are typing in, you can tell us, Krishna. So, what was the motivation behind this GATE exam? Are you wanting to pursue MTech from one of the IITs?
So you can said that, but for me, that the gate was this, for the data science. I am just working in the field of the data science. That's why I want to test my knowledge skills to just gain the knowledge and gain the knowledge. And while preparing for the gate, we have to deep dive into the more concept
Yep.
from every subject and the topics. That's why I'm motivated to just go for the gate exam.
Well, that's good. Like even if you do not have a very rigid motive, still you want to test your knowledge. It is a really
Yeah.
good thing to judge you based upon your GATE score, because you have to go in really depth of the theories to cater all the twisted questions that we have, right? Okay, so people are discussing questions. Just give me a second. Okay, a few more minutes, then we are going to be continuing with the next set of questions. So, Krishna, let's say I'm just going to give you a hypothetical situation. Let's say you have scored really good and you are passing the cutoff of some of the very famous IITs. Let's say IIT Guwahati and IIT Kanpur. So, any prior choice in mind? Which IIT would you want to go to?
Yes, sir. I go with the IIT Kanpur.
Okay, well, Kanpur being my hometown, that's great. I'm being biased towards it. Okay, so Krishna,
Krishna,
thank you so much for taking
thank you so
time
much
out
for
for us.
taking the time
And
out for us. And
there is again echo, I
there
guess.
is again echo, I guess.
Just a second, Krishna.
It's,
Yep, thanks.
yep,
So
thanks.
Krishna, again, I was just
Krishna, again, I
to
was
you.
just
Uh,
uh,
Krishna, could you just put
Krishna,
your microphone off
could you
for a minute? Yep. So Krishna has taken out time for us, and he actually went. Okay. So it was really great interacting with you, Krishna, and all the people who are here. I believe that you have benefited from all the conversation and all the analysis that we have done. And because we are having the similar sort of analysis from many of the sources, it is actually confirming that the stats that we are giving you are quite accurate. And we do have a next set of questions ready. Okay, so let's see. Just give me a minute. We are going to be coming up with the next mentor, Sakshi. Let Sakshi take over. Uh,
When facing an exam like GATE, the stakes are really high. Tough competition, limited opportunities, and lots of hope riding on your shoulders. Geeks for Geeks and
Hi guys.
Hello,
Just let
Sakshi.
me know if I'm audible. Hi
Yeah,
Devashish.
you may please take over with the next questions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. So I hope all of the students have really gotten all the questions which we have solved. So you would know that what would be the answer and if you have marked that question correct or not. So from further onwards, we I'm going to discuss some of the aptitude question, artificial intelligence question, and some of the remaining maths question. As you guys already know that maths questions are real in are really much in number. So we are going to discuss that. So let me share my screen with all of you. Okay, just let me know, guys, if my screen is visible to you, because I'm going to share some of the question. Let's start with mathematics question, right? And just let me know, guys, uh, if you have more questions based on any topic. I'm going to discuss that with you. Okay, if you remember any question, just let me know in the chat section so that our team can get solved more and more questions with you. So guys, this was a question. So have you guys solved this question? Just let me know, guys, what would be the answer for this question. Have anybody of attempted this question or not? So the question here says that probability of T complement is zero point 0.6, and they have given the probability S given T, that is 0.4, and then they have given probability of S given T complement, and that is 0.8. Now they are asking that find out the probability T given S. So any guys remember what would be the answer here? Any of you remember this question? So if I'll try to solve it, what would be my first approach? The answer would be probability T intersection S upon probability of S, and intersection I can, because probability of T bar is 0 0.6, then what would be probability of T? That would be 0.4, right? Okay, so what would be probability S given T? Probability S given T would be probability S intersection T upon probability of T, that is 0.4. So using probability S intersection T, you can find out, using probability of T, you can find out probability S intersection C. So that would become 0.4 into 0.4, that is 0.16. So guys, just check if we have written these numbers correct, because, okay, somebody is saying that it is 0.12. Abhishek, which is 0.12? So guys, we got these numbers. Just understand the method and you would know that you have done this correct or not. And now I have to find out probability of S. So how do I find out probability of S? It would, because if you remember law of large numbers, what would it say? If I'll write down probability of S given T bar into probability of T bar plus probability of S given T into probability of T. That is law of large numbers, right? Probability of law of large number. This would help me to find out probability of S. So S given T bar is given to me zero point 0.8, right? And probability of T bar, probability of T bar is 0 0.6, right? Plus probability of S given T is 0.4 into probability of T. What is probability of T here? 0.4. So you will get here 0.86 are 48 and then 0.16. So on solving, you will get 8, 9, 10, 14, 0.64 as the probability of S. Now, if I'll put all the values here, so what would I get? 0.16 and 0.64, right? So that would give you 1 by 4. That is 0.25 as the probability. Guys, have you solved this question? Just let me know how many students have done this question correct. Anyone in the chat section, guys? Any of you have done this question correct? Just tell me that these numbers are correct. 0.6, 0.4, 0.8. These are the probabilities are there. Okay. Getting 0.33. Okay. There might, just let me know, guys, these probabilities would be 0.6, 0.4, or 0.8. I think any of these numbers would differ, and then you would get the right answer, because many of the students get 0.3. So there might be a possibility. Uh, okay, Shamit is saying that it is 0.3 instead of 0.4. Let's suppose if I'll take this as 0.3 instead of 0.4, so it would become 0.3 here, it would become 0.3 here, it would become 0.3, then it would become 0.12, right? Then if it become 0.12, let me solve you according to what you have told me. So when probability of S intersection T would become 0.12, and then if I'll solve 0.12 and all these things remain same, probability, yeah, everything else remains same, and it would become 0.64. So if I'll solve this, 4 threes are 12 and 3 by 13. Okay, somebody is saying that 0.25 they are getting their answer. So guys, now you know that what would be the method behind to solve it, like what would be the probabilities, because somebody is giving me different probabilities. Rupesh is saying that there is different probability, so according to that you have to solve it. Now you know the method, that which method you have to use. You have to use law of large numbers to get probability of S, and probability T intersection S would be like this. And if I'll take this question like that, then the answer would be 0.25, right? So just check that what are these values corresponding to that, you would get your answer. Okay, let's see next question. Yeah, this is okay, this we already have discussed, right? Okay, just a minute. Okay, so guys, there is one question in which they ask to find out nature of eigenvalues. They do not specifically ask nature of eigenvalues, but they ask that are they real number, or are they, is this the matrix? Yeah, this was a matrix for eigenvalue, right? You have to check that what would be the eigenvalues. Prog is asking, is 45 marks good in this paper? Right now, we can't say anything that 45 marks are good or not, because because some students are saying that paper was easy, some students are saying paper was hard. It depends how students have performed in this exam, and because this is the first time this exam is happening, so we can't tell anything that 45 marks are. There may be a possibility that some students are good in maths and they have outperformed, so there might be a possibility, right? Yeah, so this was a question. Let's go through it. So we have to find out the eigenvalues. For that, I'll write down A minus lambda. Let's compare, let's read this. A, and this would be 2 minus lambda, and minus 1, 3 minus 1 minus lambda. This is simple. We just have to find out the eigenvalues. So if I'll solve this, sorry, this would be 1 minus lambda. 2 minus lambda into 1 minus lambda plus 3 equals to 0. That would give me 2 plus lambda square minus 3 lambda plus 3 equals to 0. So lambda square minus 3 lambda plus 5. So this would give me, this equation would give me the root of a, would give me the eigenvalue. So I'll find out the eigenvalues. 3 plus minus square root b square, that means 9 minus 4ac upon 20, minus 20 upon 2. So you can see that I am getting complex roots, right? So which option is correct? If in the options they have given that both the eigenvalues are complex pair, then that would be the correct answer. So I hope you guys got this question correct, because this question was really simple, right? You do not have to do anything. You just have to check that the roots are real or what. Right, there is one question. This, just tell me guys, how many of you have ticked which of the option? It says that suppose a cone is there, and suppose two identical, both cones are identical, two identical cones. Suppose two identical cones are there, cones are there, and taking invert of it, join it at a common circular base. If cut it by a plane at its vertices, then what would it form, guys? So let's suppose we have this cone, right? Let's suppose we have this cone, and if I'll join this two, if we have this cone, so what would you get? Guys, see, if this is a cone, then if you will cut it through the vertices, if I'll cut it through the vertices, let's suppose these are the vertices, if I'll cut through it, so that means I'll get a quadrilateral, and I have to decide that that quadrilateral would be ellipse or rhombus, because it is a, and guys, because students told me that there is a right circular cone, right circular cone, and because these two cones are identical, so that means their height, let's suppose if I talk about this, so this length would be same, this length overall, if I'll talk about whole circular cone, then that length would be same, so you can see that you would get a rhombus if I'll cut it through the vertices, so you will get a rhombus. Because guys, Jignesh, you would not get a triangle, because if you will imagine a cone, right, then you will have a four side, two sides of upper part and two sides of uh, bottom part. Outer shape they were asking. Uh, if it cut by a plane, because Jignesh, we got this question. Can you tell me what would be the correct question? Because it's saying that if it cut by a plane at its vertices, then it form. Then okay, so guys, just confirm that they are asking for the inner shape or the outer shape, because we got this question from the student. So if they are asking for the inner shape, then it would be a rhombus. But if they are asking for the outer shape, it would be something like that, right? We have this rhombus, and above this we have something. We have some. Okay, the question was then the plane boundaries form, right? The plane which cuts, then that plane boundary would be rhombus, Jignesh, if this was the question, right? That would be a rhombus. That would not be a triangle, because it has four sides. Like if you will say, you will see that if it would cut like that, so that means the plane would have these four sides, one, two, three, four, and we have the cone behind that, right? So you have to imagine this question. Okay, so let me see other questions. Okay, so guys, this was the question. Anybody got this question? The question was limit x tends to 0 log of x square, because I have seen in the comment section that student were saying this was the question instead of cos x upon x square. Just tell me that this was a question or not. Tell me this was the exact question or not, because if there is a difference in the question, then you would say that we have a different answer and you got different. So what would you do? Okay, if this was a question, then you would try to differentiate. You would try to differentiate numerator and denominator. Only cos x. Okay, so it would be x square into cos x. Okay, if this was x square log of x cos x. Just tell me, guys, I have seen this question in the chat section only. So the question was log of x square plus 1. Okay, this was a question. Okay, so let's suppose it was a question, right? So what would I do? Okay, this was not a question, because uh, we'll get 0 by 0. Okay, x square. Okay, so the question was like that, x square plus 1 cos x, because then we'll get 0 by 0 form, right? Okay, so everybody is saying this was a question. So what would I do? Because I'm getting 0 by 0 form, I'll differentiate numerator and denominator. So what would I get? X square plus 1 and differentiation cos x as it is. And then we have to differentiate x square plus 1 cos x. X square plus 1 as it is, and differentiation of cos x is minus sin x. And then plus sign, differentiation of x square, that is 2x, and cos x as it is, right? And then differentiation of x square, that is 2x. So can I write down this 2x with this denominator, because it's already in denominator? Right now, if I'll apply x approaches to 0, I'll get 0 by 0 form. Right, I'll get 0 by 0 form. So again, I'll apply L'Hopital rule. So what would it become? So first, I'll little bit simplify it. Uh, Let me write down x square plus 1 sine x plus 2x cos x minus sine, and then we have, let's multiply this inside, x cube plus x cos x. Right, now it gets little bit simplified. Now I'll differentiate numerator and denominator again. So what would it become if I'll differentiate numerator? Minus 2x sine x and then minus x square plus 1 cos x. Right, and then differentiate this, 2 of cos x and then x cos 2 x cos x differentiation would be minus sine x. Right, and if I'll differentiate denominator, x cube plus x, let me keep it as it is, differentiation of cos x is minus sine x, and then can we do log of x? Yeah, you can do that, because log of a into b is equals to log a plus log b. Right, you can do that. That would also work. But then you would not be able to use L'Hopital rule, because log of 1 gives you 0, but log of cos 0 would be log 0, and log 0 is minus infinity. So that would not be advisable, that if you would break these two functions, right? And then we have a plus sign, 2 of x cube plus x. Okay, sorry, I just have to differentiate this. So what would I get here? I'll get 3 into x square plus 1 and differentiation of and cos x as it is. Right, so now I'll try to put the limit. So what would I get? 0 minus 1 plus 2 plus 0. At denominator would be 0 plus 2. Right, so I can see that 1 by 2. So 0.5 is the limit. So guys, tell me how many of the students get 0.5 as your answer? Just tell me guys in the chat section that how many of you get 0.5 as the answer. Guys, anybody? Okay, so yeah, this was a question and 0.5 is an answer for this question. So let me see if I have more questions. Uh, okay, so guys, this one question was there. Given three fair coins which are tossed independently, let T corresponds to the probability of more than two heads and S corresponds to probability of two tails. Then what would be the probability of T intersection S? So what would be the probability of T intersection S? Right, Abhishek, we are going to uh, release the key within 1 or 2 days, because we have some questions left and we are going to compile them so that you would get the exact answer instead of getting less number of questions. Just tell me guys, given three fair coins which are tossed independently, so you can see that T corresponds to more than two heads and S corresponds to two tails. So you can see, if you would do T intersection X, that would be fine, because if in a case you are getting two heads, then you cannot get two tails, right? So that means probability of T intersection S would be 0 in this case. So 0 would be the answer. Right. 0 would be the answer. Okay, let me see more questions. Okay, this we have already discussed. Okay, already discussed. Yeah, there is one question, guys, in which in which they have asked to find out the determinant of m square plus 2lm, and the m matrix is given to you. Just I'll tell you what would be the m matrix, because I got a text from a student that for M matrix, let me write down here. The M matrix was 1, 2, 3, 3, 1, 3, and 4, 3, 6. tell me guys which option you have ticked or what you have marked if it is if it was anything. So guys, what would be the determinant here? Yeah, they ask for the determinant of m square plus 2lm. You can see that here determinant of m is 0. And why I am directly saying determinant of m is 0? Because 3 plus 1 is 4, 2 plus 1 is 3, 3 plus 3 is 6. So that means R1 tends, R2 is basic, sorry, R3 is basically equals to R1 plus R2. So that's why uh, determinant of m is 0. So that means determinant of m square would be 0. Determinant of m square would be 0. So which of the option would be correct? So let's suppose if I'll find out m square, 1, 2, 3, 3, 1, 3, and 4, 3, 6. Okay, so instead of doing that, can I say that let's suppose one of the eigenvalue for this matrix would always be 0. So one of the eigenvalues would always be 0. So that means for this sum, one of the eigenvalues would always be 0 because m has a 0 determinant and m square has a 0 determinant. So m square plus 12m has one eigenvalue which is 0. If one of the eigenvalue is 0, then its determinant is 0 because determinant is what? Product of eigenvalues. Right, so you can directly say that determinant of this m square plus 2lm is 0. So I hope you guys get this. I hope, yeah, you guys get this answer correct. So let me know guys how many of you have done this question correct. Yeah, so now I'm going to discuss some of the aptitude question. Just a minute. So these are all the maths question we have. Now I'm going to discuss some of the aptitude question. So guys, there is one question. Yeah, this was a question. It says that how many 4-digit numbers divisible by 3 can be formed by 1, 3, 4, 6, 7 if each digit is not be repeated more than once. Right, so we have 5 numbers, 1, 3, 4, 6, 7. 1, 3, 4, 6, 7. We have these 5 numbers. Now I want to find out that if I'll form a 4-digit number, then which of them are divisible by 3? How many numbers are there which are divisible by 3? So you can see that how I can form the number 1, 3, 4, 6, 1, 3, 4, 7, and 3, 4, 6, 7. And then I have, let me see, 3, 4, 6, 7, and 1, 3, 4, 6. Let me tell, just tell me students how many numbers would we get here. So you can see that we can have here 1, 4, 6, 7, 1, 4, 6, 7, and then 1, 3, 1, 3, 6, 7, right? So if you will take a sum of these numbers, let's take a sum. 1, 3, 4, 6 would give me 6 or 4 plus 10, 13, 14. And this would give me 15, and this would give me 18. Sorry, this would give me 20, right? And this would give me 18, and this would give me 17. So guys, if you remember the property of 1, 3, if you remember the property of a number divisible by 3, if sum of the number is divisible by 3, then it is divisible by 3. So in these two cases, the sum is divisible by 3. So that means I have numbers 1, 3, 4, 7 and 1, 4, 6, 7. Now I can rearrange them. So how many times I can rearrange them? I can rearrange them in 4 factorial, because I can switch the places of 1, 3, 4, 7, and similarly 4 factorial combinations are possible. So in total, I have 4 factorial plus 4 factorial. That is 24 plus 24. That is 48 combinations possible for this. So there is 48 answer. Right, Anupam? 48 is answer. So 48 numbers would be there which are divisible by 3.
right? So this was an aptitude question. Let's move to see next question. Yeah, guys, this was one of the question. This is a basic question. This is that calculating interest based on the data. There were three mutual funds, A, B, C. Person A deposited 10,000, 20,000, 20,000 respectively. Person B deposited 20,000, 10,000, and 10,000. Uh, Fund B and C have annual percentage, that is 15%, and person A received 500 more than the person B. Then we have to find out what would be the percentage, what would be the interest this person A is getting on A deposit, right? So what would I do? Because let's suppose that X percentage I am getting on this 10,000 rupees on this deposited, which I have deposited in first mutual fund, A mutual fund. And then because we have deposited, we have 15% on this 20,000 and 15% on this 20,000. 20,000. So this is the amount person A would get at the end. What would be the amount person B would get the end? X percent, that is 20,000 plus 10,000, 15% of 10,000, and then 15% of 10,000. Right? This is the amount they got. So let me simplify it more. Just a minute. Let me simplify it. So you can see here, what would I get? If I write down x upon 100, that would be 100x. Plus, if I'll solve this, what would I get? 4,000, 15, 4 just 60, 6,000. Right? And this would become 200x plus 4500. And they are asking that, they are saying that A got 500 more. So if I'll subtract their prices difference, I'll get 100, I'll get 500. Let's subtract it. So I'll get from here. If I'll subtract these two, what would I get? I'll get minus 100x and plus 1500 is equals to 500, because there is a difference of 500. Person A gets 500 more than the person B, right? So if I'll solve this, I'll get 100x is equals to 1000. So that would give me x is equals to 10. That means 10% I'll get. Right? So 10%, right, Jignesh and Anupam, 10% is the right answer here. Yeah, right. 10% is the answer, guys. Okay. Let's solve more questions. Let me see here. Yeah. Guys, this was one of the question in your paper. Again, in aptitude, it says that A, B, C, D have 40%, 25%, 20%, 50% votes. Student told me that this is a pie chart. In the form of pie chart they have given to you. And total votes are 11,000, 1,15,000. Out of these, 5,000 votes are unverified. So they asked me to find out total votes verified by B and C. Total verified votes. So first find out verified votes. So how many verified votes are there? 1,15,000 minus 5,000. So that would become 1,10,000. Right, Jignesh. Right, Anupam and Jignesh. So B and C is this. So let's add this 25 plus 20% of 1,10,000. Right. So if I'll solve this, I'll get 45 by 100 into 1,10,000. Two zeros are cancelled. So if I'll multiply 45, 45, I'll get something 49500. So 49,500 votes would be there given by B and C, which are verified. Right. So is there any problem in this question? I hope everybody gets it. Right. So I think these are the questions we got from aptitude. Student told us that the questions were lengthy.
Acha, this we have already solved. Yeah, these are all the questions. So I have one question from artificial intelligence as well. Let's solve it, and then we'll ask other mentors to solve more questions with you. Let me slide show it so you would be able to see it properly. Yeah, so guys, anybody, what you have answered here in this question, just tell me. And guys, before moving forward, if you are getting from this session something from this session, just hit the like button. Guys, do you tell me why mod of h1 minus h2 would be correct? Because somebody say people are okay. Tell me, guys. So it says that if h1 and h2 are two admissible heuristic function of a star, then which is also. So first of all, h1 and h2 would be not, because that would overestimate, right? Let's suppose when h2 is smaller than h1, then it would overestimate. So it would not be admissible. Similarly, h1 star h2, because it is a product, right? So it would again be non-admissible. There might be a possibility that it would overestimate, right? Let's talk about modulus of h1 minus h2. So you can consider a case in this where one function significantly underestimate. Let's suppose h2 is significantly underestimating and other one is actually closer to that cost. In such cases, it would be non-admissible, right? In such cases, it would be non-admissible. So h1 plus h2 would estimates the admissible function for the heuristic function. Because if both would underestimate, then some would preserve admissibility, right? If both are getting the right cost, if both are admissible, then their sum is also admissible. And in this case, they are saying that both are admissible, so they are admissible, their sum is also admissible, right? So this is a question from AI. So guys, just tell me how many of you till now have marked correct questions. Just tell me, guys, in the chat section. Tell me, guys, how many of you got these questions correct? Jed, why it would be modulus of h1 minus h2? Okay, so guys, tell me, Anupam is asking expected cutoff. So right now, we can't say that what would be the expected cutoff, but in GATE exam, we usually have seen that around 28-30 would be the expected cutoff. And you can see that the exam was really easy for all of the engineering students, as there are a lot of mathematics questions and DSA Python questions are comparatively easy. And because it is a first exam, there are less ML and AI questions which have more difficulty level. So we can expect that cutoff to get high, right? So yeah. So guys, we have our other mentors who are going to join the session and give you more detailed insights about the exam. Okay. So I'll ask Devashish to join. Hi Devashish, welcome back. So I hope you okay. So I'm not
Um,
you are not
just a second,
audible
Sakshi,
for
I'm
me.
unable to hear you. Let
Huh,
me
yeah, now you are
connect.
audible. Okay, so Devashish, I hope you got some new insights for a student. So
Just give me
I'll
a
give the
second.
stage to you. so that you can share it with the students.
Just a second, Sakshi.
So guys, till then you can ask the questions in the chat section so that our mentor would help you to get better insights for the exam.
Okay. Sakshi, can you just signify me like that if your content is done?
Yes, you are
Okay, thank you
audible.
so much. Thank you so much.
So, thank you.
So, people, we are here with analysis. So, all the mentors here have analyzed the questions for you. They have predicted what could be the possible cutoff, and we are here. We are going to be now discussing. So, let me again call Santosh sir here. So, please take over the stage.
Thank you, Devashish.
Sure, sir.
So, like, let me draw the table first. That since total number of questions were 65 in this particular exam, and for they are competing for 100 total. So, as per the receiving of the questions from the students, like we have received around 55 plus questions. So we have just segregated the questions according to the topic. Let me write it now. That we have questions from aptitude, and that is total 10 questions. Okay, and then we have the probability and stats. So total 8 to 10 questions were there from this particular topic. And then calculus. From calculus, we have 4 to 5 questions. From linear algebra, we have around 3 to 5 questions. And from DSA itself, there were around 12 to 15 questions. Okay, because we have received few questions, they were incomplete, so we have not considered to discuss that particular question because we are not sure. They have some missing content over there. Now from Python, there were total 3 to 4 questions, and most of the questions in Python were based on finding the output. Okay, and then from AIML, there were only 4 to 5 questions, and they are very basic questions. They are based on the theoretical aspects. And the last topic was DBMS and warehousing, database and warehousing, and that is having 4 to 5 questions. Okay, so this is the total scenario. That means we have total 65 questions for 100 marks. Okay, so if you look at the scenario, like if I analyze this particular thing from our perspective that we have discussed in our team, हमें ऐसा लगता है कि ये अभी जो हमारा टोटल एग्जाम था, इस पर्टिकुलर एग्जाम को हम इजी से मॉडरेट लेवल के बीच कैटेगराइज करेंगे. ओके, रादर देन मॉडरेट टू टफ डिफिकल्टी लेवल, इसको हम इजी से मॉडरेट लेवल के बीच रखेंगे. ओके, सो दैट इज वन पर्टिकुलर थिंग. दूसरी बात यहाँ पे ये आती है हमारी कि कट ऑफ कैसा जाएगा, है ना. ये पूरा समीकरण देखने के बाद ऐसा लगता है कि इसको अगर हम कट ऑफ के रेंज में क्लासिफाई करें कि कितना कट ऑफ जाना चाहिए, है ना, तो लाइक इस पे मैं चाहूँगा कि देवाशीष अपना कुछ पॉइंट रखें कि कट ऑफ कैसा हो सकता है, क्योंकि जो हम लोगों का इसका निष्कर्ष है कि ये हमारा इजी टू मॉडरेट लेवल में काउंट होना चाहिए रादर देन मॉडरेट टू टफ. ये इजी टू मॉडरेट लेवल में आएगा. तो कट ऑफ की अगर बात करें देवाशीष.
सर, कट ऑफ मेरे ख्याल से क्योंकि बहुत सारे लोगों ने कंसिडर करा है कि मॉडरेट टू इजी लेवल ही आया है, तो जब जब ऐसा हुआ है कि हमारा इजी लेवल जा रहा है तो कट ऑफ थोड़ा इजी हो ही जाता है, उसमें कट ऑफ बढ़ ही जाता है हम लोगों का। और रैंकिंग थोड़ी सी टफ इसलिए हो जाती है क्योंकि अगर आप सोच रहे हैं कि आप अराउंड 50 के साथ एक रैंक होल्ड कर पाएंगे, वो चीज़ कहीं ना कहीं पे थोड़ी सी पीछे रह जाती है। एंड अनलेस हम लोग जितना भी एनालिसिस करते आए हैं, हम लोग का ये कंक्लूजन है कि अनलेस यू आर स्कोरिंग अराउंड 65, देन बीइंग अंडर 1000 इज गोइंग टू बी अ लिटिल टफ। सो अगर आप जी
That
सर,
means 60 to 65% अगर आप स्कोर करते हैं इन दिस पर्टिकुलर, so out of 100 60 to 65 स्कोर करते हैं, then only we can fall under 100,000 rank. That is our prediction that we can stay into this particular rank. To fall under 1000 rank, we must secure 60 to 65% cutoff, because the question is very easy. Even we have further analysis on this particular question. Like,
sure sir.
okay, so if you look at the previous scenario, I'm going back to this. Okay, just look at this scenario. गेट डेटा साइंस का एग्जाम कई लोगों के लिए अप्लीकेबल था, कई लोग अप्लीकेबल थे, वेदर दे आर फ्रॉम टेक्निकल बैकग्राउंड या केवल मैथमेटिक्स में किया था उन्होंने, या मैथमेटिक्स का भी बैकग्राउंड नहीं था, ऑल दे आर एलिजिबल इन दैट पर्टिकुलर केस. ओके, अब अगर इस पार्ट पे एनालिसिस करते हैं, देन वी कैन सी कि यहाँ पे मेजर जो इम्पैक्ट आया है वो डीएसए और पाइथन है ना, अराउंड 20%. हम बात कर रहे हैं 65% स्कोर करने तक का, 60 to 65% स्कोर करने का, जिसमें से 20% तो मेजर कवर करता है आपका डीएसए एंड पाइथन. चलो इसे भी छोड़ देते हैं. अब हम बात करते हैं प्रोबेबिलिटी कैलकुलस एंड लीनियर अलजेब्रा. अगेन दैट इज 20%. तो अगर हम नॉन टेक बैकग्राउंड में बात करें, उसने मैथमेटिक्स भी पढ़ लिया है, तो वो 20% से ज्यादा स्कोर नहीं कर पा रहा है. ओके, तो उसको इस पर्टिकुलर रैंक में फॉल करने के लिए एक बड़ी मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी. दूसरी बात करते हैं कि अदर देन कंप्यूटर साइंस बैकग्राउंड वालों के लिए, जिन्होंने कंप्यूटर साइंस नहीं पढ़ा है, डीएसए नहीं पढ़ा है, पाइथन एआईएमएल के या डेटाबेस को भी मिला ले, है ना, तो अगर उन्होंने ये पर्टिकुलर पोर्शन नहीं पढ़ा हुआ है, इन दैट पर्टिकुलर केस वो 25 से 30% तो उनका वैसे ही डाउनफॉल हो गया, है ना. तो मुझे ये लगता है कि कंप्यूटर साइंस वाले, जो कोर कंप्यूटर साइंस वाले थे, बैचलर इन कंप्यूटर साइंस, they are going to give
Score
the
the highest.
yes, they can actually top in that merit list. Okay, that is our prediction. but ये इस बार के एग्जाम के लिए है, बिकॉज इस बार ऐसा पेपर आया हुआ है कि उसमें हम इस तरह का प्रिडिक्शन कर पा रहे हैं. अदरवाइज देखा जाए, क्योंकि कोर्स जो है गेट डेटा साइंस एंड एआईएमएल है ना, आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस, तो आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस और मशीन लर्निंग में अभी बहुत सारे ऐसे टॉपिक्स हैं जिनको कवर ही नहीं किया है. ठीक है, जिन पे क्वेरी ही नहीं है. बेस थ्योरम, आपका बहुत सारे आपके ह्यूरिस्टिक सर्च है ना, तो एआईएमएल के बहुत सारे क्वेश्चंस हैं जिन पे एंट्रोपी बेस्ड क्वेश्चंस हो सकते थे, उनको अभी कवर ही नहीं किया. इवन सिर्फ और सिर्फ अगर देखा जाए यहाँ से मैथमेटिकल एस्पेक्ट्स में प्रोबेबिलिटी के अलावा कुछ और कवर नहीं किया, है ना. तो नेक्स्ट टर्म अगर एग्जाम होता है और इस पर्टिकुलर पोर्शन पे फोकस करते हैं, तो डेफिनेटली देयर विल बी अ टफ फाइट. ओके,
just a second. Sir, I would just like to add that जितना हम लोग अभी एनालिसिस कर रहे थे, तो हम लोगों ने यही नोटिस करा है कि मैथ्स का पोर्शन ज्यादा तो है, पर इसमें भी हम लोगों की वही चीजें इंक्लूड हुई हैं जो एक्चुअली हम लोग का बेस कंसेप्ट है एआई के मॉडल्स का. तो हम लोग ये नहीं कह सकते कि एआई के क्वेश्चन डायरेक्टली नहीं आए, बट एआई के जो बहुत ही बेस मॉडल्स हैं, अब फॉर एग्जांपल बेस के लिए वी नीड प्रोबेबिलिटी, सो वी आर नॉट आस्क्ड पर्टिकुलरली अबाउट बेस थ्योरम, बट वी आर आस्क्ड अबाउट प्रोबेबिलिटी देयर. ठीक है, ऐसे ही हम लोग के जितने डिफरेंट मॉडल्स हैं, उसके लिए हम लोग का जो एकदम बेसिक मैथमेटिकल कंसेप्ट्स है, उसमें से क्वेश्चन आए हैं, एंड मे बी दैट इज द रीजन मैथ्स का पोर्शन सबसे ज्यादा है. Sure. And sir, would you like to add something to it?
No, I think that is all about. So I think for the next year, or next year aspirants must focus on looking at this particular trend. उनको थोड़ा अपना मैथमेटिक्स का पोर्शन, क्योंकि दैट इज ओवरलैपिंग विद द एआईएमएल. ओके, तो वो वाला पोर्शन एंड डीएसए को, लाइक सिलेबस में अगर हम देखें तो सिलेबस में काफी कम डिस्क्रिप्शन था डीएसए एंड पाइथन का, बट दैट इज कवरिंग 20%, है ना. तो आपको इस पर्टिकुलर डायरेक्शन में फोकस करना पड़ेगा, और डेफिनेटली मास्टर इन डेटा साइंस एंड एआई is definitely require the basic concept of the computer. तो आपको इस पे फोकस करना ही पड़ेगा. तो नेक्स्ट ईयर एस्पिरेंट्स को चाहिए कि आप इन सारे कोर्सेज को प्रॉपरली मॉनिटर करें, प्रॉपरली प्रैक्टिस करें एंड देन गो फॉर द एग्जाम. ओके, तो अभी के लिए मैं आप सभी को बेस्ट ऑफ लक कहना चाहूँगा. आप सभी को एक अच्छी रैंक मिले. ऑलराइट, सो
थैंक यू सो मच सर. आज आपने बहुत ज़्यादा टाइम निकाला है और सर ने बहुत ही सारे क्वेश्चन आपके लिए सॉल्व करे हैं जल्दी से जल्दी जितना हो सकता है. हम लोग ने जितनी रिसर्च करी है और आप तक ये सारे के सारे क्वेश्चंस पहुंचाए हैं. वी होप कि वी वर एबल टू हेल्प यू एंड आप लोग को ये स्ट्रीम पसंद आई होगी. सो जितने भी लोग ऑनलाइन है प्लीज़ एक लाइक ज़रूर बनता है और आपके कमेंट्स हम लोग की पूरी टीम नोटिस कर रही है. आपके जो भी क्वेश्चंस हैं हम लोगों ने आपके भी क्वेश्चंस उठाए हैं और हम लोगों ने उनको क्रॉस चेक भी किया है. जो जो क्वेश्चन क्लैश हुए हैं हम लोगों ने रखे भी हैं यहाँ पे और उन्हीं के थ्रू हम लोग का पूरा एनालिसिस बना है. और आप लोग ने जिन जिन ने पेपर दिया है वो लोग खुद ही फील कर पा रहे होंगे कि ये एनालिसिस कितना ज़्यादा पास तक गया है. तो थैंक यू सो मच, आप लोग आखिर तक रहे एंड बहुत ही हम लोग को भी मेहनत लगी है यहाँ पे. पर क्योंकि अगर आप लोग के नंबर ऑफ लाइक्स बढ़ जाएंगे तो हम लोग के लिए मेहनत सफल हो जाएगी. और ये हम लोग का जो नेक्स्ट वीक अपना गेट CS है हम लोग उसमें भी ऐसे ही पूरा दिन जस्ट फॉर अ बिग चंक ऑफ टाइम पेपर के बाद हम लोग उसका एनालिसिस लेकर के आएंगे. सो इस पे कमेंट्स आप अच्छे से बता दीजिएगा कैसा आपको एनालिसिस लगा, क्या इंप्रूवमेंट्स आपको नीडेड है. कोई भी सजेशन अगर आपको देना हो हम लोग जरूर से नेक्स्ट में इम्प्लीमेंट करेंगे एंड होप फॉर द बेस्ट. आज जितने भी लोगों ने पेपर दिया है सबकी एक बहुत अच्छी रैंक आ रही होगी. Apart from that, just a little about our course that we have launched. From our batch 2, students have given the paper and their result would be coming soon as well. You are going to get to know that. And so far what we predicted was actually clashing here. So we believe that what the research that we have done in our course as well is is fruitful. So if you want to check that out, you can check the course in our description. And again, thank you everyone to be staying live with us till now. Now we are wrapping up, and again, just like and comment if you really found this video helpful, because we really did a lot of mehnat for this live, because we usually don't do this long live streams, but a whole team of different people, of mentors, and of all our teaching assistants are there who are helping us. Thank you so much. Let's conclude and hope for the best. Take care, guys.